Stiles. At third base, Justin Singer. And behind home plate, Roland Hines.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Montgomery Blair Baseball Stadium in Silver Spring, Maryland, where tonight the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts welcome the DC Grays for another matchup in the Cal Ripken Senior Collegiate Baseball League. As we move deeper into the summer, every game becomes more increasingly important for seeding and positioning. The Thunderbolts looking to build off of some adversity. Currently last place in the Cal Ripken standings, sitting at 5-17 on the season. The Grays looking for some momentum as well. They took a win last night after losing 5 straight. But 5-5 in their last 10 games. They're 8 games behind, sitting in last place in the South Division. The Thunderbolts last in the North Division. But tonight, on June 30th, on a Tuesday night here, about 4 minutes away from 7 o'clock, I'm Brian Alves, joined by Peter Kelly. And we should have a fun one tonight where the DC Grays and the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts are battling for pride and position. The Thunderbolts have lost 4 straight. They took some momentum. We're starting to put together some nice they're putting together some nice wins in a couple of game spans, but now back to more adversity. The Thunderbolts, ever since that win against the Bethesda Big Train 6-5, have lost 4 straight, lost to the Metro South County Braves at Olney, at Southern Maryland, and then at Gaithersburg last night. But tonight, with the DC Grays traveling into Montgomery Blair, the Thunderbolts with an opportunity to get their second win of the year against the Grays. Looking at the lineups that we'll have tonight for this matchup, it's going to be Dre on the mound, Dr. Dre. And Christian Dre, the Richmond Spider, making another start on the season. He's got the 1 through 9 of Jonathan Acosta at shortstop, Cameron Baker at the 2 spot playing center field, at the 3 spot playing left field Trent Lopez, the Cornell man, at the 4 in right field Griffin Pruval, DHing tonight for the Thunderbolts Joey King at the 5, Matthew Kim playing some second base again tonight at the 6 spot. Sam Camacho Jr. joins back in the lineup at the 3rd base spot at the 7th spot tonight. And Nolan Kutney, the first baseman tonight for the Thunderbolts, number 8. And doing the catching tonight for the Thunderbolts, Kai Schmelzer didn't have yesterday's game, but he's catching again today, and he's catching for Christian Dre. The Richmond Spider looking to make another nice start for the Thunderbolts tonight, and he's going to have to do it against the DC lineup that has Hartley Rahman at the 3 spot. At the 1 spot playing 3rd base, Benny McCarr Jr., second baseman, Jackson Loomis at the 3rd spot playing short. DHing tonight for the Grays, Drew Abinski, usually the catcher, but tonight DHing. The catcher for the Braves at the 5 spot, Xavier Bradley. Evan Wilson playing left field at the 6. Ben Drinkwine, right fielder, playing the 7. Andrew Boganski, 8th hitter at first base, and Peyton Ford, the center field at the 9. And the Grays will be pitched by Cohen DeVillier, and we will be right back after these lineups. National anthem starting in just a second here at Montgomery Blair. We'll catch you as soon as they're over. After the national anthem, we welcome you back in here at Montgomery Blair Stadium on Tuesday, June 30th. I'm Brian Alves, joined by Peter Kelly. We got the bottom of the South versus the bottom of the North. Both teams looking to make some noise tonight here at Blair. 1-1 in the two matchups they've played against each other this season. The Thunderbolts have another Dre day. Dr. Dre back on the mound. The Richmond Spider is 6th currently in the whole Cal Ripken League in ERA. He's made 4 appearances on the season, started 3 games. Pitched over 11 innings so far this year, but with a 1.59 ERA. Christian Dre, really impressive so far this season, looking to keep it going. And the Thunderbolts would certainly need it. Yesterday we got a really good start from Jacob Seek, but Dre looking to make back-to-back great starts for the Thunderbolts, in which hopefully the bats can get going tonight.
I think to get out of this run, they're going to need consistent production from both sides of the ball. And first and foremost, the pitching has to keep it going. We've seen some great pitching over the past couple of days. Jacob Seek last night, Emilio Rodriguez on the Saturday game. And then back on that Friday night against Olney, Tristan Merritt was really good. Jabril Scott was really good. But Dre is the guy that's been kind of Mr. Consistent this year for the T-Bolts. He is now pitching for the 3rd time against the DC Grays in his 4th start of the year. First time was a lot better than the second. 3 innings, no runs with 3 strikeouts back on June the 5th. That was at DC. Then 13 days later in the most recent home game between these two, he goes longer. He goes 4 innings on 75 pitches, but does give up 3 runs. Only one of them is earned, though. Part of the reason why his ERA is so good, 1.59 for the Richmond Spider going into his sophomore season. He's got success this year against the DC Grays. Hopefully he can keep it going against the team that has struggled as of recent, 8-14 as last place in the South Division.
Yeah, and with the matchup being 1-1 for these two teams, Thunderbolts don't have an opponent that they've won more games than they've lost against this season. So this would be a huge accomplishment, at least for the time being, if the Thunderbolts can get one tonight and take claim of their first victim in the Cal Ripken League when it comes to opponents and winning percentage. It's not going to be easy, though. The Grays, they may have lost 5 in a row before last night in their win, but they've seen win streaks that the Thunderbolts haven't seen. They won 4 straight before that 5-game losing streak. But here we go. We're about to get started here. First pitch coming up. Christian Dre, as I mentioned, on the mound. Kai Schmelzer doing the catching for him. It's going to be Hartley Rahman batting number 1 for the Grays tonight. The first pitch from Dre, swung by Rahman, immediately hits this one into shallow left field over shortstop, and first pitch, first swing, first base runner.
Not really how Dre wanted to start this game. Rahman played the last time that Dre threw against the DC Grays on June 18th. He went 0 for 4 in that game with 2 strikeouts. He picks up a hit there, though, for one of the best hitters on this team, hitting .286 on the season.
That brings up the lefty Benny Bicard Jr. from Southern. One of 4 Southern players on this team. Definitely a pipeline to that university. Many different pipelines in terms of recruiting for this Grays team, especially from the DC area. Benny Bicard Jr., one of those guys. Not the biggest guy, but he's a switch hitter, and he makes contact, and he's a very speedy guy. So the Thunderbolt's going to try to not get him on base today. But Dre looking to put away his first batter on the young evening. 0-1 the count. And there's strike 2. First swing from Benny Bicard Jr. is blown by. This is a DC Grays lineup. Batting Hartley Rahman, Benny Bicard Jr., Jackson Loomis, Drew Rubinski, Xavier Bradley, Evan Wilson, Ben Drinkwine, Andrew Bogonski, Peyton Ford, and Cohen DeVilliers at pitcher. The Grays, as we talked about off air, do not have a batter hitting over 300 this season, but they all put together team efforts that get the job done. This one smacked foul. And Hartley Rahman, who was speeding around second, is going to have to head all the way back to first base after almost making it to third.
Yeah, but Gar ambushed that. He leads this team at batting average, but not above 300, just 294 for the second baseman out of Southern. third time we're seeing Bakar this season. When he played in the second game between these two, he wasn't starting, but he came in after an injury to Evan Rosario. It was very early in that game. It was the second inning, I believe. So he played the majority of that game, went 1 for 3.
The 0-2 from Dre is high and outside for ball 1, 1-2 the count. And Dre gave up his first base runner a lot earlier than he thought, the first pitch of the game. Here he is leading this count 1-2 the next at bat. But Benny Bakar Jr. hanging in there. He fouls off another pitch. The second baseman is showing some toughness. Two, 3, Christian Dre looks over to first base, Hartley Rahman. And once again, Benny Bakar Jr. got jammed, but fouls it off.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. I think the pitch almost hit him. It was a cutter almost that kind of ran inside. I don't know how he got the bat there, but he almost kind of swung at it like it was a sword and was just able to put that on foul down the first base side. Good at bat here from both sides.
Bakar really deep into that batting box. He's going to pop this one up after a long at-bat. Acosta catches the pop out and throws it back to first, and there's the double play. So poor base running from Hartley Rahman, who clearly didn't know where that baseball went. Acosta knew exactly where it was, catches it. Great communication from the Thunderbolts to have Acosta throw that over to first, and there's the double play.
Yeah, where Rahman did himself in was he slid into second base. He heard the crack of the bat and knew the ball was up, but he was already in his slide, so it took him a little bit longer to get back up and re-go back to first. By that time, Acosta had the awareness to get it to the bag. 2 outs, nobody on. That's a pretty good start for Dre after that leadoff single.
Absolutely, and that felt pretty nice, most likely for Dre after a really long at-bat. But after killing 2 birds with 1 stone, Dre just needs 1 more out. It's not going to be easy as he's pitching to Jackson Loomis, who swings through that one. Strike 1. And Jackson Loomis, out of Denison, is a DC native, local guy. He's been used in that utility infielder profile, playing at short today, as he fouls one that hits a nice ding off the pole. 1-2 the count. Dre looking for his first strikeout. It's a good opportunity here to get it. 1-2 count. Jackson Loomis trying to stay alive. Dre throws, and there it is. Strike 3 swinging from Loomis. Dr. Dre back on the mound for another inning, and guess who's back? Dr. Dre. 3 hitters, double play involved off the first base pop-up. And the Thunderbolts get out of this one in the top of the first with 0 runs earned. And the Thunderbolts will have their chance at bat in just a second.
The Tacoma Torch, founded in 2019, brings laughter and a sense of fun to residents in Tacoma Park and the DMV. The Tacoma Torch features satirical articles about the region that those with a sense of humor can appreciate. Send a headline or idea their way to tacomatorch@gmail.com and watch what they do with it. The Tacoma Torch is on the web at tacomatorch.com. Tacoma Torch, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Nando's Peri Peri Chicken on 924 Ellsworth Drive in Silver Spring is the best chicken in the world because it uses peri peri sauce. From chicken on the bone to wraps and sandwiches, along with salads and veggie options, Nando's is your choice for great food. Nando's Peri Peri Chicken on 924 Ellsworth Drive, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, hope you popped out last night to Nando's Peri Peri. They had that promo Monday night. 40% of the promotion went to the Thunderbolts organization. So if you're able to go to Nando's, shout out to you. It was a great promo to support the team. If not, continue going to Nando's. Great food. But the Thunderbolts haven't been able to score much recently. They only put up 2 runs last night against the Gaithersburg Giants, trying to get it back together today. It's going to be tough against the DC Grays team that has something to prove, just like the Thunderbolts do. And it seems like in these games that the Thunderbolts might be evenly matched, it goes the way of the other team. But tonight, the Thunderbolts trying to change that narrative. Jonathan Acosta soon will be leading off, but Cohen DeVilliers is pitching tonight for the Grays. Peter, what do you have on Cohen DeVilliers?
Well, he takes the mound for a DC Grays team that is one of the worst pitching teams in the league. The only team having a worse ERA is the team on the other side, the Thunderbolts. But DeVilliers has had a couple of good appearances this year, making his 4th start for this Grays team. ERA a touch over 5 and a whip over 2. That's not really great. A lot of walks, a lot of hits given up by DeVilliers. His last time out against the Aces on June 24th went 3 innings with 3 runs, just 1 of them earned though, and did strike out 4 along his way. His best outing by far was June the 16th against the defending champion Bethesda Big Train, going 6 innings, giving up just 1 earned run. I think it's got to be the objective for the T-Bolts to get him out of the game early. Last time they faced off against the Grays, Chris Fortunato went 7 innings, and it was really good stuff from Chris that all but closed the door on the T-Bolts making a comeback in that game because they just couldn't get him out of the game.
Absolutely. The Thunderbolts, the mission is clear. You need consistency on both sides. Like you said early in this game, we've seen bright spots from the hitting. We've seen bright spots from the pitching. Acosta trying to add to that hitting bright spot, but first pitch swinging goes to shallow left center. And the out is made for the first out. That was center fielder Peyton Ford. So, different script for the Thunderbolts. Flying out this time on the first pitch. The Grays got one single to left field, but, you know, there was a double play the play after, so maybe different luck for the Thunderbolts. Cameron Baker going to try his best to change that. At the 2 spot today, Cameron Baker playing center field. Gabe Pagase, the hitter of the week, not in the lineup tonight for the Thunderbolts, was told it was for rest with a busy week. Usually he's been in that center field spot. Tonight it's Cameron Baker, who's already taken 2 strikes. Baker down 0-2 early in this count. Swings, hung up in the air for a little too long and went right to the left fielder, Evan Wilson, for out number 2.
Quick at-bats early from the T-Bolts. It's not what they're looking to do here. Like I mentioned, Chris Fortunato, the last time they faced against the Grays, goes 7 innings. And just last night, Owen Singer, the Gaithersburg Giants starter, goes 6 innings, and he was really good, and it seemed like the T-Bolts weren't going to score off of him. They just couldn't get him out of the game. So extending counts, getting in those 2-ball, 3-ball counts is going to be paramount.
Well, luckily for the Thunderbolts, Trent Lopez is hitting pretty early in the order tonight, hitting at the 3 spot, and when he's played, he's been electric so far. He obviously had that 2-home-run game against the Southern Maryland Senators, one that involved a grand slam and 5 total RBIs. And he showed some flashes last night, had 2 hits for the Thunderbolts, and where hits were really hard to come by, as you're talking about the great pitching performance, but he's already dealing with some adversity here. But now in the hitter's count, 2-1. Lopez playing his college ball at Cornell. Swings and misses. And that was strike 2. So 2-2 the count. Lopez with extreme hitting power. Trying to use it, but not able to when the pitch isn't there. Inside, top left. Not hittable for Trent Lopez. 3-2 the count. Cohen. DeVilliers can't get this one to be the 3rd out of the inning. Trent Lopez just hits it in the perfect spot between shortstop and second. It bounces right through. Wasn't the hardest hit, but well placed. And Trent Lopez continues his nice hitting this season with a 2-out single.
Yeah, Trent, one of the top averages on this team, hitting .360, and he likes to hit against this Grays team First time against him back on June the 5th. He went 2 for 4 with an RBI and already 1 for 1 tonight to pick up his 3rd hit against DC this season.
And up for the Thunderbolts is Griffin Pouvel. He hits this one to right, and what a catch. There's the 3rd out of the inning. In right field is Ben Drinkwine. Just an unbelievable catch. This one had to be dove for in front of him. Griffin Pouvel didn't even have time to introduce him at the 4 spot. Almost put that one down, which would have had Trent Lopez racing around the stadium, but instead that's out number 3. Trent Lopez stranded, and the DC Grays going to hit for the 2nd time against Dr. Dre in just a moment.
United Therapeutics in Silver Spring develops pharmaceuticals and technologies that help patients in need of organ transplantation. United Therapeutics is guided by the principles of always striving to do the right thing and relentlessly pushing to always do better. As a result, the company was included among America's best companies by Forbes magazine. United Therapeutics in Silver Spring is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. The Parkway Deli on 8317 Grub Road in Silver Spring has been dishing up deli classics since 1963. The Parkway Deli is a family business, and their family loves to bring great food and service to yours. The Parkway Deli is open 7 days a week, 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. The Parkway Deli on 8317 Grub Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, Christian Dre ready to keep the day going. 2nd inning of action coming up for Christian Dre. He went one through 3, but in a weird, unorthodox way. The double play off of a pop out, thanks to the slide from Hartley Rahman at second base. The Thunderbolts were able to get out of that inning a lot faster than they expected. But coming up for the DC Grays, Drew Rubinski, Xavier Bradley, and Evan Wilson, 4, 5, and 6 for the Grays. They did get that 1 hit in the 1st inning. So right now, both teams with a combined 2 hits, 1 each. And if I didn't mention it before, the Thunderbolts, with Dre at the mound, have Kai Schmelzer catching in left field, Trent Lopez in center field, Cameron Baker right field. For the night is Griffin Pouvel, and then in the infield we got Camacho at 3rd, Acosta at short, Matthew Kim at 2nd base, and finally Nolan Kutney at 1st. First pitch was held back by Drew Rubinski for ball number 1. Dre pitches, gets a swing, foul ball right in front of home plate. 1-1 the count. Drew Rubinski, the catcher from Georgetown. Another part of that DC connection. Doesn't play too far away from where the Grays play this summer at Catholic. So pretty easy for him to stick around this summer with the Grays. 2-1 the count. Rubinski hitting .250 on the season. Fouls this one back. 2-2. .250 this summer, only 8 games played. But in those 8 games has 3 RBIs, a home run, and 2 runs. Similar to Trent Lopez and his kind of small sample size, he's done well. Dre hoping to make him a strikeout victim. The 2-2 is inside and almost gets him. 3-2. Big early battle for Dre. 3-2 here. Don't want to allow another first hitter base runner in this inning. Had one in the 1st inning, was able to get the double play. But the strike is necessary here. 3-2. Swung on weakly and caught by Acosta at short. And Dre gets out of it nicely. Soft contact for out number 1. Acosta making the play.
Now batting from Southern University, number 3, Xavier Bradley.
So part of that Southern group of 4 that the DC Grays have is Xavier Bradley. He's catching tonight for the Grays. Already the second Southern hitter we'll see. Benny Bacard Jr. was the first one. Xavier Bradley with 1 out gets his chance. 1-0 inside. Drake deals. The breaking ball squeezes in there for strike number 1. Had good movement to it. The Thunderbolts trying to put together a complete game that we haven't seen in a minute on both ends of the field. It's going to have to start with the pitching from Dre. And Dre so far 4 outs in. No runs given. Just 1 strike away from his 5th of the game. 1-2. Dre deals, fouled away. Gray's fouling off a lot of pitches so far tonight. And Dre, even though he's successfully getting out the Grays, has had to deal with a higher pitch count than he would have thought early on. Pitch count already up to 18 pitches. The 19th pitch goes low for ball 2. 2-2 the count. We will at least see Evan Wilson next up for the Grays, potentially Ben Drinkwine as well. Evan Wilson, the 6 hitter. At first, Xavier Bradley in a 2-2. Leaves this one as well. 3-2 the count. Really good discipline there to not swing. It was a tough one to watch. 3-2 the count. Just 7 minutes before 7:30. Here in the top of the 2nd inning. 1 out. Dre deals. Just misses. That'll be ball 4. First base runner of the inning. 2nd of the night for the Grays. Xavier Bradley, the catcher, is going to trot over to first base.
I mean, he was not missed by much in that at-bat. Living around the strike zone, that's what Christian Dre does so well. He came into this game 12 strikeouts against just 5 walks on the season. He's now got half as many walks as he does innings, which is a really solid mark, and he's right about a strikeout per frame. Dre, a guy that's going to live in and around the zone and make the hitters beat them with contact.
Well, a fun matchup between Dre and Evan Wilson. Evan Wilson and Dre, both Richmond Spiders. Both playing their college ball in Henrico, Virginia. Teammates, but tonight rivals. And Dre hoping to get some friendly banter against his teammate tonight. He gives him the first strike. 1-1 the count. But Evan Wilson, the lefty, wearing the Richmond batting gloves. Both teams played for a really solid Spiders team. That was the 2nd seed in the Atlantic 10 this season. And Evan Wilson fires this one right up underneath Dre's legs as he jumps over. And that's a single for Wilson. He's going to get the better of his Spider teammate on the first at-bat.
Evan Wilson, a big reason why the Richmond Spiders were that good. He was a freshman All-American, according to Perfect Game, because of his prowess, not just at the plate, but on the mound as well. He 2-8 this year for the Spiders and was a lot better at the plate. Hit .329 in 40 starts. Actually led the team with 15 doubles, but was a little bit worse on the mound. It's kind of flip-flopped here in the Ripken League, which has been interesting. He's been a really good force on the bump, but at the plate, not so much. I think just 176.
Pretty odd, honestly. But regardless, he's not pitching as we know of tonight. Maybe he'll make an appearance later, but right now he's hitting. He gets his first hit of the game in his first appearance. And Christian Dre with his first serious problem on the base pass. First and second, 1 out. And Ben Drinkwine, we didn't know if he was going to get the opportunity this inning with the 4th hitter coming in, is going to bat at the 7th spot. And only 1 out. But he's already down 0-2 in the count. Good pitch from Dre to get him swinging.
Yeah, that pitch is gross from Christian Dre. The slider's been so good for him all season. It's really tight. It doesn't start too far inside, but starts inside enough that you think it might be enticing enough. But it evades the bat of Drinkwine, and Dre now is in a 0-2.
Dre gets a swing from Drinkwine. This one is fair and drops into right field. Runner's going to hold, so everyone advances, but no one goes home. Looks like Xavier Bradley was held back at third base. And that held back Evan Wilson, who stayed at second. But Ben Drinkwine singles, and now back-to-back singles for the Grays. 3 total. 1 walk, 2 singles, only 1 out in the inning.
Yeah, the only reason that road didn't score is because that is the catcher, Xavier Bradley, not known for being the quickest position on the base paths. A little bit surprised DC's not using a courtesy runner tonight, a new rule in the Ripken League that you can replace the catcher when they're running with a designated player from their bench. We've seen the Grays do that this season with Joey Chitla, who's one of the top stolen base numbers in the Ripken League this season, but they stick with Bradley on the base paths and might have cost them a run. Still with just 1 out, though, it could come home anyway.
Trey's certainly going to have to be a lot more careful on the mound, and as I say that, throws this one right over the head of Andriy Boganski. Boganski had to duck, and especially with the bases loaded, any pitch that gets wild would most likely send someone home. Dre already over 30 pitches and thrown almost 20 in this second inning. There's ball 2. Kai Schmelzer wants to have a chat with Dre just to talk strategy here. This is a big at-bat for both teams. The Grays, not the greatest in terms of production from their hitters, but already early, they've had a base runner in the first inning, and they have 3 here in the second. Both teams would love to start this game on the right foot. The Grays threatening right now. Gray deals, and there's strike 1. Paints that one on the left-hand side of the strike zone. Boganski just looks at it. 2-1 the count. 1 out, runners full on base. Important stretch of games for the Thunderbolts this week. It'd be great to have this one tonight. And Dre drops in another nasty slider. Starting to get that one to work. 2-2. Second best result after a double play in this instance would be a strikeout. Dre looking for number 2 on the day. He deals. There's strike 3. Boganski can't believe it. But there's strike 3. Looked a little low, but the call was given, and Dre will take that any day of the week. There's the second strikeout of the game, and now just 1 out remains to get out of the bases loaded jam.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the same pitch 3 times in a row there. I mean, maybe the third one was a little bit lower, but you got to be expecting slider after the first 2. And you just watch as it go by him. Not really how you are going to get ahead in this ballgame is by taking that pitch right there. At least try to foul it off or something if you don't think it's a strike.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also in that instance, maybe the umpire is kind of locked into that slider mindset. When he's seen a similar pitch a time and time again and he called the first 2 strikes, he's probably going to lean strike for the third one, regardless if it's in the exact same spot or not. Good job by Dre and Kai Schmelzer to recognize that. Kai's done a great job at calling games this year.
Absolutely, but, oh, man. Going to get a pitch violation here? The pitch count I guess Dre took too long on the mound. He was in his windup, as it was called. So there's automatically ball number 2.
And that's dangerous, too, to stop a pitcher mid-windup. That's how people get hurt. I always say it slows the game down even more when they stopped it to talk about the pitch clock.
Well, his next pitch is low. There's ball 3, and I think for Dre especially, if you're already in your windup, you're about to pitch. I think you got to give some leniency there. But regardless, 3-0 the count.
That pitch was very similar to the one that Boganski was rung up on. But again, it's maybe Rowland Hines behind the plate was in the rut with that same pitch, and he called that one a strike because he saw the first 2.
And there's strike 1 as Peyton Ford flips the bat halfway to the dugout, but he's going to have to pick it back up. You know, and there's nowhere for Peyton Ford to go right now. Everyone's hogging their bases. So one more ball, and the first run would score. Dre certainly trying to avoid that. He's going to wind back up here. Get ready for the 6th pitch of the at-bat. There it is, and it's swung on, fouled. Good battle from Dre. Started the count 3-0. One of the pitches being a pitch clock violation, but now 3-2 the count, 2 outs. Biggest pitch of the night so far. Kai Schmelzer gives the pitch, nods his head. Dre deals, strike 3. Nasty stuff from Christian Dre, and Dr. Dre gets out of another predicament. The surgeon, with the second strikeout of the inning, 3 total. The Thunderbolts once again produce a donut on the scoreboard defensively. And they'll have another opportunity in just a moment to bat for the second time.
Silver Spring Jewelry is the Washington area's only complete jewelry store with a staff of 13 jewelry associates and 8 goldsmiths. Now in 3 locations in Tacoma Park, White Oak, and Silver Spring. Family owned and operated since 1971, specializing in diamonds, custom engagement rings, repairs, engraving, and cash for gold. Go to silverspringjewelers.com for more information. Silver Spring Jewelry, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. SkyPoint Federal Credit Union. They make banking simple. SkyPoint believes banking should be easy to understand, personalized, and focused on making the community a better place. Whether opening your first account or planning for your future, SkyPoint has the financial tools to help you hit it out of the park. SkyPoint Federal Credit Union. They make banking simple. Visit SkyPoint's branch in Silver Spring. More at skypointfcu.com, federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender.
And once again, the Thunderbolts would like to welcome
Thunderbolts back up to bat for the second time tonight. Already 34 minutes into the game. And the Thunderbolts really, as we mentioned previously, have to get the bats going. They've had plenty of base runners and plenty of games, but at times just haven't been able to bring them home. Against Cohen DeVilliers here, Joey King at the 5 spot is going to have the opportunity first off, and then it'll go Matthew Kim and Sam Camacho Jr. With any base runners, Nolan Kutney and Kai Schmelzer might get the opportunity as well. But Joey King, Kim, and Camacho Jr. at the very least going to have opportunities. And one of these guys got to break through.
Yeah, it's got to come at some point. 2 of the last 3 games for Silver Spring have been pretty lackluster offensively. Just 1 run on Friday night against the Crop Dusters, and just 2 runs last night against the Gaithersburg Giants. I mean, granted, those are the best and second best pitching staffs in the league, but it seems like you got to bounce back at some point regardless of who the opponent is, and this is a great opportunity against the DC Rays team that has struggled.
First pitch from DeVilliers to Joey King is strike number 1. Joey King has been a perfect glue guy for this team so far this year. Comes in when you need him off the bench. Has made some crazy plays. I wasn't there for his home run robbery, and everyone tells me it was the biggest robbery of not being there, really. People are saying that. You were saying, Peter, that you've never seen a catch like it.
Oh, yeah, far and away the best catch I've seen in the Ripken League. There's no question about that. It's a very good defensive league on the whole. A lot of athletic players in the outfield, and Gang might have had the best grab of the season, skying over the fence to rob Ryan Booma of a 3-run shot.
And there's strike 3 to Joey King. This one just painted across the left-hand side of the plate. And DeVilliers getting comfortable. So one down for the Thunderbolts. Matthew Kim now up. And I realize now I've rotated between using DeVilliers and DeVilliers. I don't know if he's French, but first pitch swinging by Matthew Kim right to shortstop and out after a long run. Jackson Loomis throwing it over to Andrew Boganski, and they combine for out number 2.
Looking like another quick inning against Cohen DeVilliers. That's just 17 pitches, and with 2 outs, nobody on. Sam Camacho's got a couple of jobs here. First and foremost, to get on base and keep the inning alive, but if he can't do that, at least extend this at-bat. Probably going to take the first pitch here after that quick ground out, but just try not to go down too early in the count unless it's a pitch you really like.
It's a great point, Peter. I mean, we've seen 3 batters so far for the Thunderbolts swing on the first pitch, make contact, and not do anything with it. But Camacho starts off 1-0. DeVilliers immediately winds up and throws. And swinging for strike 1 is Camacho. Wasting no time with DeVilliers. And he's being efficient as well. Camacho gets into one, but it goes right to center field for out number 3. And just like that, 3 more pitches later, DC Grays get the 3rd out of the inning. Peyton Ford catches that at center field. Cohen DeVilliers strong through 3 innings so far. 2 innings so far, excuse me. We'll be right back in just a second for the start of the 3rd inning, where the Grays get another opportunity against Christian Dre.
Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Avenue in Tacoma Park, Maryland helps people turn their dreams into their new forever home. Whether it's a renovation, addition, or a new home, Ben will assist you in picking colors and finishes. He'll explain building codes, zoning requirements, and materials that stress energy efficiency. Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Avenue in Tacoma Park, Maryland. A proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. The AFI Silver Theater and Cultural Center in downtown Silver Spring presents the best in American and world cinema. They show classic American mysteries from the black and white era, as well as the most modern digital content from around the world. The AFI Silver Theater also features filmmaker interviews, panel discussions, musical performances, and more. The AFI Silver Theater at 8633 Colesville Road in Silver Spring is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, top of the 3rd action, looming around the corner. Christian Dre about to make his 3rd appearance on the mound in his 3rd different inning. The Grays, looking statistically at them offensively, are hitting .231 batting average on the season, .364 on base percentage. This is a team that is last place in a lot of the rankings offensively, and the Thunderbolts are going to have to take advantage of that. They had a great start from Jacob Seek last night. Only 2 earned runs in 5 innings. Still wasn't able to come away with it after the Giants exploded for 10 total runs last night, but the bats weren't a part of it. The Thunderbolts now looking to find that consistency from both sides of the field. And the Grays, the opportunity presents itself in front of them tonight. First up for the Grays, Hartley Rahman once again. He's going to start the 2nd time through the order. He was 1 for 1 with a single over Jonah Acosta on the first pitch of the game. Dre looks him down, throws, and there's strike 1. Rahman did get on with that single, but was thrown out, dashing back to first base after he tried to steal second as the ball was popped into the air for a double play. Swung on again by Rahman in a similar area, but this time on the ground. Throw by Acosta is perfect. Caught by Kutney, and there's out number 1.
It's just so consistently clean from the shortstop position. Colin Gibbs getting a day off tonight, so Jonah goes back to where he likes to be, which is at shortstop, and comes around on that one beautifully. Makes a play kind of off his back foot, ranging into that 5-6 hole, but no matter. He's able to get it there strongly and retire the speedy Hartley Rahman for the first down.
That brings up Benny McCarr Jr. His second time up. He was 0 for 1. Popped out and was a part of that double play in the first inning. Trey throwing some gas. Isn't able to land it, though. 1-1 the count to McCarr Jr. As I mentioned, hitter from Southern University, one of 4 players, 2 of them starting tonight for the Grays. And there's strike 2. Another well-placed slider from Dre. That one can be really tough to read as a lefty from a righty pitcher. Seems like it's just way out of the zone, and then it just comes back in and touches that corner of the zone. The 1-2 swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Christian Dre. Make that 4. Benny McCarr Jr. heads back to the dugout. He's now 0 for 2 with a double play and a strikeout. Jackson Loomis will come back in and see if he can avoid the 1-2-3 inning.
Dre starting to find his footing after he had the bases loaded in the second inning. He has now retired the last 4, including
immediately Dre keeping that momentum going. Strike 1. Jackson Loomis, the righty, trying to find a spark for the Grays. They had it in that second inning. Weren't able to bring a run home, but he's swinging wildly here. 0-2 count. That one you thought was different than it actually was. Into the dirt. Kai Schmelzer wasn't able to hold on to it, but it didn't matter. Strike 2. And there's strike 3, but the ball gets loose. Schmelzer picks it up. Plenty of time. Throws it to Kutney, and there's strikeout number 5 for Dre. Out number 9. Thunderbolts make it through another scoreless inning defensively. They're going to try to break this dry spell from both teams in the bottom of the third. We'll be back in just a moment. 0-0.
Koa Sports in Gaithersburg, Maryland is committed to shaping kids' lives through sports. Koa Sports aims to develop each child to their full potential as an athlete and as a person. They also help your student athlete in the classroom, on the playing field, and anywhere in between. Learn more about Koa Sports at koasports.com. Koa Sports is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Parkview Capital believes your financial strategy should reflect more than numbers. It should reflect you. As a trusted investment advisory firm, Parkview Capital partners with individuals and families to build and protect wealth. Parkview Capital personalizes strategies rooted in your values and long-term goals. Parkview Capital, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, back for the bottom of the third. The Thunderbolts, starting off with Nolan Kutney, the UMBC man, will have 8-9-1. Kutney, Schmelzer, and back up to Jonathan Acosta for the Thunderbolts as they try to break this 0-0 tie. Still early in this game, but good pitching from both sides. It's been efficiency so far. But off rip, being efficient on the other side is Nolan Kutney. There's a hit. UMBC man hits it in between third and shortstop. And on first pitch, he gets on base.
In limited action this year, Nolan is now 4 for 6 against this DC Grays team. He went 3 for 5 all the way back on June 5th. That's one of his 3 multi-hit games this season, but the only time he has had 3 hits in a contest. And he could potentially be gunning for it again with the leadoff single and waste no time either. Jumps on the first pitch he sees.
Well, certainly doesn't help the pitch count that we were talking about previously, but then again, no one cares if you get on base. Guy Schmelzer up to bat now. The young catcher almost gets drilled on the first pitch. Second pitch to Schmelzer. Looks right and is right. Strike number 1. Breaking 5 outs in a row was Nolan Kutney. Griffin Puval, Joey King, Matthew Kim, and Sam Camacho all couldn't reach base. But Nolan Kutney on the first pitch of the inning gets on. And in a 1-2 count, Kai Schmelzer trying to continue that momentum. Schmelzer takes another one inside, but this time it gets all of his left side. But Kai takes off running with cheers from his teammates, as that one didn't faze him at all. First and second for the Thunderbolts.
This has been super fun to watch, how this T-Bolts team has resurged over the past couple of days with their energy and enthusiasm. And another good piece to maybe continue that enthusiasm is a pinch runner at first right now. Courtesy running tonight will be Caleb Sturdivant. First time we've seen him in about a week and a half. He's been on and off with a couple of injuries, but he will run for Kai this evening. Good to see him back in uniform and entering this game, although we'd love to see him at the plate at some point, but get on the base path is a small step in the right direction.
Well, that's awesome, as Sturdivant was kind of helping out as a coach, as a base coach when he wasn't playing. He was oftentimes at first base coaching up his guys, but a veteran on this team, a leader on this team, it's good to see him back in a role. Eventually, we'll love to see him take some at-bats, but right now it's Jonathan Acosta, one of the best options to have at the plate. First and second for the Thunderbolts. Jonah drived in one of the 2 RBIs last night. It's been Mr. Consistent so far for the Thunderbolts. Another guy batting over 300 this season. He's trying to pick up another RBI. But this one outside by a good bit for ball number 2. Just as it seemed like Cohen DeVilliers was going to get through this game really efficiently, he's got a base run on first and second. There's ball number 3. He almost lands the slider into the strike zone, but just misses that end of the plate. 3-1 count to Acosta. His second time up. He's 0 for 1 so far. Swings and fouls this one way behind us. Strike 2. With 0 outs, we'll surely see more of the top of this order no matter what, unless we get a 3-out play on 1 play, but very unlikely. I don't think we've seen that at all in the Ripken League this year. 3-2. Acosta pops this one way high into the air. Called in foul ball territory is first baseman Andrew Boganski, and there's the first out.
Tough way to go down after that lengthy at-bat. A good fight to keep extending that pitch count, but it ends in a foul out to the first baseman. Now up to Cam Baker to continue this rally, and really can't afford to leave runners on with nobody out this early in the game.
This is something we saw a decent bit last night. The Thunderbolts weren't getting a lot of base runners, but when they did, usually runner stranded on first, second, or third until deep in the ball game. Thunderbolts want to win this one tonight. They're going to have to score early. And Baker sees this one right by him for strike number 1. 1-1 the count. Cameron Baker looking for an RBI. Baker swings at this one really weakly, but might actually help him out here as he doesn't beat it out at first. Thought he might have had it. But there's out number 2.
Yeah, we're going to see if the umpire crew will take a look at this collectively. Adam Stiles at first base making that call. Brock Hunter's going to ask for an appeal. We'll see if he gets it. Looked like Baker had it by a tad.
I think there was some distance for him to be safe there.
In this scenario, Brock's not asking him to change his mind. He's just asking to get him to talk it over with the other 2 umpires to see if they saw anything different. It is tough because he had by far the best view of it. And now he's going to come talk to Roland Himes, the home plate umpire, and I'm not really sure what good that's going to do. But I guess he's just going to ask him if he saw anything different. It's not going to be a conference.
So that one was hit by Baker very weakly over to Jackson Loomis. Loomis threw it over to first baseman Andrew Bagansky. Looked like Baker made it there safely. The call was out. And discussion still from manager Brock Hunter. And like Peter said, I don't expect this to be changed. Nothing really you can do. That would be very unfortunate for the Thunderbolts, who could have had bases loaded with 1 out. Yeah, nothing going to change here. 2 outs. Runners on second and third advancing. But looks like Cameron Baker is 0 for 2 after not making it to first base, according to the first base umpire. Trent Lopez going to come back up after getting his first hit of the ball game in the first inning.
I'm not sure what's going on here. I think allegedly T-Bolt's pitching coach might have gotten ejected in that scrum. That would be Ryan Mariani if it is true. I don't know what was said. It seemed like a very quick hook. He just popped out of the dugout for a second. I'm not really sure why he was ejected. I mean, we don't know what the words that were said, but I can't. It's hard for me to believe it would be that aggressive.
Well, we do have confirmation from our journalist Sam Bergstrom that he was. And that's just an interesting one, as I thought Baker was able to get to first. But regardless, the call was made. We're still getting some talk from the umps here. Now with some claps and everyone resettling, home base umpire, and everyone will gather back up, and we'll get ready for this 2 outs, second and third situation.
Yeah, unfortunately just a missed call there by Adam Stiles, the first base umpire. It happens, but Baker, instead of being on first base and having the bases loaded with 1 out, it's now just 2 aboard with 2 outs, and a tougher situation for Lopez to break the deadlock.
Lopez was looking to be aggressive on the first pitch. Swings by it. Big first strike by DeVilliers. Trent Lopez skies this one into the air. We've got the Bermuda Triangle going out to get it. It confuses the Grays, and there's the first run of the game. Both runners score because of how long it took for the ball to be in the air. Trent Lopez with a little bit of a celebration on second base as he's cheesing over there, picking up 2 RBIs on what should be called an error.
Well, I have heard some people talk before about how the ball doesn't really like to lie. And I think that scenario may be one of them where it is kind of karma that the runs do come home. It just pops out of the glove of Evan Wilson. It's his 2nd error of the season. DC a pretty solid defensive team. But like you said, a Bermuda Triangle that they just get caught up in. And it's Wilson's ball all the way, but just doesn't close the glove with the ball inside. And now the inning's still alive for Puval with 2 on the board.
And Puval, one of the more disciplined batters on this Thunderbolts team. He usually sees a lot of pitches in his at-bats. He's got a man on second base. And with DeVilliers giving up 2 runs in this inning. Thunderbolts trying to take more advantage. Still one more out to be made by the Grays, but until it's made, got to keep hammering on the attack. The 2-1 is perfectly placed. 2-2 the count.
It is worth noting that the left fielder Wilson is not really an outfielder. He played a lot of first base this season at Richmond, but he's a big guy, and he's not really comfortable out there in the outfield as he would be at a corner infield spot. He's 6'5", so a little bit unorthodox positioning.
This one's hit weakly to third base, and the play is made at first for out number 3. Griffin Pouvel will end this one. De Villiers gives up 2 runs off of really an unfortunate mistake for the DC Grays. The Thunderbolts have seen that a lot on their side of the ball, but this time they get that advantage. 2-0, both runs coming in the bottom of the third. DC Grays with an opportunity to respond after a word from our sponsors.
Dan Metcalf has long been a supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Now he's in a new location, the Finn Family Group of Perennial Real Estate. If you want to find that perfect home in the perfect community, the Finn Family Group is for you. The Finn Family Group believes in community, and they bring that sense of community when working with clients to find homes in the Silver Spring Tacoma Park area. Call them today at 301-450-6999. The Finn Family Group, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Athletic House on 18952 Bonanza Way in Gaithersburg is a promotional product distributor making mugs, pens, and t-shirts for advertisers. The Athletic House can supply your company with every possible promotional product from 3,000 suppliers. With so many ad specialties available, Athletic House can help leave a lasting impression with your customers, and they'll create long-lasting relationships with your clients. Athletic House, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, the Thunderbolts broke through. 2 runs in the bottom of the third. We had an odd second out of the inning in which Cameron Baker looked to beat out the throw. The call was made by the first base umpire for out number 2. We had an ejection of the pitching coach for the Thunderbolts, but just like that, 2 runs for the Thunderbolts, already equal to the amount that they had last night.
Doesn't really matter how you get them, does it? It just matters that they get on the board. And the important thing about these runs is that they came first. DC still scoreless through 3. And Christian Dre is starting to roll a little bit. He's retired the last 5. Worked out of a bases-loaded jam in the second inning to re-find his groove. And he's looking as sharp as ever in the righty back out to face the middle of the order.
Well, out of the 9 outs that Christian Dre has produced, he's gotten 5 strikeouts. I mean, we see great stuff from all the starting pitchers of the Thunderbolts, but doing it in dominant fashion so far. As you mentioned, had a tough top of the second inning, but able to bounce back in the top of the third. And he's already up 0-2 against Drew Rabinski. The 0-2. Fouled off. We'll do it again. As I mentioned, Drew Rabinski, Ahoya, plays at Georgetown, was homeschooled in high school, and is just a freshman, so young. But this time he swings for strike 3 as it hits him, I believe, in the hands. So the pitch was nasty enough from Dre to be swung at that deep inside to where it basically hit him, but strike 3 regardless, and there's another K from Christian Dre.
No, that was ridiculous. He's now struck out 5 of the last 6, and that one 92 up and in the hands. Expecting a slider or a curveball there because that's what he's really going to on these 2-strike counts, but Dre freezes him and makes him go around on a really ugly swing for the first out.
Speaking of going around, Xavier Bradley is up, and that pitch went around him. 1-0 the count. It goes behind him. Lucky it didn't catch Xavier Bradley, so no damage done. But Dre, regardless, 6 strikeouts so far. He's mixing in a little bit of everything, throwing gas. He's got the off-speed working. Really liking what I'm seeing from Dr. Dre. The 2-0 to Xavier Bradley is outside for ball 3, 3-0. This might be the worst that the controls look so far for Dre in this at-bat. 3 pitches where only one of them really looked like it might have had a chance at catching the zone. But this one does catch the zone. Strike 1. And, you know, we mentioned earlier when Dre was missing in the top of the second and the top of the third, he wasn't missing by much. This time, he misses a decent amount, but he's already back 3-1 in the count. And just like that, we have a 3-2 fouled off by Xavier Bradley. Flashback to the top of the second inning. Xavier Bradley was sitting at third, had a chance to run home on a single, decided to hold back, and the Grays ended up not getting any runs in that inning. And now back up, it's 2-0, Thunderbolts getting on the board. But this time, Xavier Bradley gets right back on base, hits this one on a 3-2 full count pitch, right in between first base and second base.
Now batting number 8.
And there's the first base runner for the Grays this inning.
Snaps a streak of 6 straight outs for Christian Dre. First base runner he's allowed since a 1-out single to Ben Drinkwine back in the second inning. He worked out of a bases-loaded jam in that frame. Now with just 1 runner on, can maybe look for the double play here against Evan Wilson, who is a big guy, 6'5", 220, but runs pretty well for his size.
Strike 1 goes to Wilson. Wilson, as we just saw, was part of that Bermuda Triangle that helped the Thunderbolts bring home 2 runners on the dropped fly ball. He's looking to make up for it here at the plate. This is the part of the order that did some damage to the Thunderbolts in the top of the second. Weren't able to get runs across, but Xavier Bradley, who just singled, walked in that top of the second. And then Wilson singled. Drinkwine eventually singled as well, who's batting up next. So still 1 out. Opportunities for the Grays. Man, if Dre keeps pitching like that, it'll be hard. 1-2 the count. It's not even a bat of an eye from Evan Wilson, but that one just goes right by him. 1-2 the count, 1 out. Xavier Bradley at first. The pitch, just outside. Almost caught the edge of the strike zone on the left-hand side, but that'll be ball number 2. Dre deals, and there's another strike 3. The 7th strikeout of the game for Christian Dre. He's webbing up these batters, including his own Richmond Spider teammate. Well, they're not teammates tonight, and Wilson may have gotten the better of them, but now the score is 1-1 between the Richmond teammates. What matters most, though, is that it's 2-0 on the scoreboard for the Thunderbolts. And right now, trying to get out of another scoreless inning defensively. Just 1 more out to make it happen. Ben Drinkwine, the right fielder, made a great diving catch earlier in the game, as well as a nice single to where he fields in the right field side, looking to try to keep this inning going. Oh my goodness. I mean, how can you hit against Christian Dre right now? He's dealing. 0-2 already. Possibility of the 8th strikeout for Dre in the top of the 4th. The pitch just misses. That would have had everyone fired up. One, 2 the count. Dre might be able to reach the double digits tonight if he keeps these strikeouts going. 70% of the way there. The 1-2. High and inside, 2-2. Although Dre has been dealing, his pitch count getting up there. He's got 67 pitches so far on the night, but should still at least have another inning if he can get out of this at bat here. The check swings held back. We get another full count. 3-2 for 2-3. Xavier Bradley at first is going to obviously run on this 3-2 count. But focusing on the batter, he goes around. Strike 3, the 8th K of the day for Christian Dre. It's been all Dre during Dre Day. And the DC Grays have seen it all year from Christian Dre. Still haven't seen enough as he retires his 12th batter of the night. 2-0 the ball game. Thunderbolts back up for more offense in just a moment.
The Radial Tire Company on 9101 Brookville Road in Silver Spring specializes in balancing, repair, and installation of your car's tires. The Radial Tire Company has experienced technicians with a commitment to quality service, advanced equipment for balancing and installation, and comprehensive repair options. The Radial Tire Company on 9101 Brookville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center at 11151 Veers Mill Road in Wheaton has been serving Washington musicians since 1958. Chuck Levin's is family run and is famous for instrument sales and its repair facilities for guitars, woodwinds, brass, strings, and electronics. Open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center at 11151 Veers Mill Road in Wheaton, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, the Thunderbolts were able to put 2 runs past. Still haven't given up any runs so far tonight. We've talked about mixing in offense and defense, putting in a complete performance. So far, the Thunderbolts haven't been perfect, but they take the lead 2-0. What have you liked so far, Peter, from the Thunderbolts on both sides?
I think they've just been relentless, and I think that's a good word for both sides, really. Christian Dre is just going right at these hitters, getting them at 2 strikes early on and forcing them to fight for their lives. And that's when Dre lives best, is when he's ahead in the count. On the flip side, SST hitters are working a little bit better and started out with a poor pitch ratio against Cohen DeVilliers. He was working really quickly through his first inning and a half. But since then, Thunderbolts are seeing some better at-bats, getting in more counts, and are starting to foul pitches off to run the pitch count up, which is what I really like to see. And just forcing the fielders to make a play. Only reason those 2 runs came in is because the left fielder, Evan Wilson, couldn't make a play. So just putting the ball in play and good things will happen.
Speaking of putting the ball in play, Joey King does just that. Another first pitch swing of the inning. Joey King hits this one to the right side of the field, opposite side. There's a single. And that brings up Matty K. Matthew Kimmy playing that second base spot again today. Matthew Kim with the infamous SOS walk-up song by Rihanna. Rewind back about 2 to 3 weeks ago when we were playing Bethesda in a game here. We were asking everybody their favorite Rihanna song in the chat due to Matthew Kim's walk-up song. Everyone loves Matthew Kim here, a veteran of the team, the glue guy, as he hits this one over. A tough play to make for the Grays, and they're just going to hold on to it. That one was hit weakly enough, but it was tricky enough of a bounce to where it was hard to maintain by the shortstop Jackson Loomis. No play at second, and he decides not to risk throwing it, so Matthew Kim is safe. First and second, Joey King at second, Matthew Kim at first.
Loomis was coming around on it. He's made a couple of smooth plays tonight, but that time he slips when he goes to pick it up, and he can't get enough mustard on the throw, so he just puts it in his pocket. Great start to this inning for the T-Bolts. It's how they started the last frame. First and second, nobody out. Let's see if they can replicate the success and get some more runs.
And this part of the order struggled the first time around between Puval, King, Kim, and Camacho. None of them were able to gather a hit. But ever since, King gets a hit, Matthew Kim gets a hit, and now Camacho has an opportunity here. But a bounce back pitch from DeVilliers, 1-1 the count. Still 0 outs. Camacho has an opportunity to really gather all the momentum for the Bolts. Taking off is Joey King. But Camacho swings at that one. Seemed like a good pitch to hit, but King was soaring across the bases. He would have easily had third. Timed up well on the base paths. And that's kind of what Joey King does. He's just a grit player. Does anything you need him to do at a very solid clip. And for the Thunderbolts, they need Camacho to do what he needs to do, and that's driving a runner. He holds back the bat. There's the second ball outside. Just misses the right-hand side of the strike zone. 2-2 the count. Cohen DeVilliers, the 2-2 count. Pitches to Camacho. This one hanging around and drops in from Camacho. King was holding back as he thought that might have been caught. But it drops for Camacho. No RBI, but he does load the bases, and that's 3 straight hits for this middle of the order. And now Nolan Kutney, who singled in his first at-bat. He's got the bases loaded count, and before DeVilliers pitches, they're going to talk it over for him. But Nolan Kutney rocking that Don Tolliver walk-up song. He's dancing and vibing around as he was about to approach the batting box. Whether that was what scared the DC Grays to have the conversation or whether it was the 3 singles in a row, we're going to have to wait a little bit before we see this at-bat.
It's great to see the bottom of the order contributing. Last night, 6, 7, 8, and 9 just had 1 combined hit in the loss to the Gaithersburg Giants. But tonight, that part of the order already with 3 hits and have been responsible for both of the T-Bolts runs so far. They can keep that streak going here if Nolan Kutney can bring some more in. He's 3 for 5 against the Grays this season and singled earlier in this game.
Kutney sees his first pitch outside for ball 1. Peter, I remember when we traveled to D.C., we were talking about Nolan Kutney being on fire that night. He started 3-3 in that game. And he's already seen 2 balls go by him in this at-bat and singled in his first at-bat. The UMBC retriever trying to be a dog at the plate. A walk brings home an RBI, and he's just 1 pitch away. 3-0 the count.
DeVilliers has lost so much feel in this at-bat. He is still yet to walk a T-Bolt over his first 3 innings. But if he does it for the first time here, it would bring in a run.
Well, there's a good bounce-back pitch. I think Kutney just holding off the bat no matter what there. 3-1. That one catches the bottom of the zone. 3-1 the count. Swung on by Kutney. This one to right field. Might drop. It does. Skips away, but brought in now, but too late. A run comes across. Nolan Kutney with an RBI. 3-0 the ball game. The Thunderbolts starting to put it all together.
I mean, it's beautiful when this offense is stringing together these base knocks. 4 straight to start off the bottom of the 4th inning. It's just such a joy to watch when this team is having fun and the results in the field back it up. And that's what we're seeing so far tonight. 3-0 lead with a chance to expand. Bases loaded and still nobody out.
Expansion, the goal for the Thunderbolts. No lead is safe in this Cal Ripken Senior League. So you got to get as many runs as possible when they present themselves. Kai Schmelzer with an opportunity to keep it going. A hard, tough act to follow. 4 straight singles from the Bolts. And if Schmelzer gets another, we'd have 5 straight from 5 all the way down to 9. The 2-0 inside at the hands of Kai Schmelzer. He was hit in his first at-bat. He's almost hit again there, but might be able to get to first base without swinging the bat again with just 1 more ball. And this one clips the zone. Thought it might have maybe just missed, but it does clip the zone for strike 1. And there's ball 4. Kai Schmelzer 100% batting average today, at least when it comes to the OBP. No at-bats yet for him as he's reached on a hit by pitch and a walk. 4-0 Thunderbolts.
The shortstop, number 12, Jonah Acosta.
End has to be coming soon for Cone DeVilliers. Just has lost his feel with the strike zone. 5 in this fourth inning have reached base, still without an out recorded, and the top of the order now up.
So 4-0 for the Thunderbolts, still 0 outs on the game. Excuse me, on the inning. Jonah Acosta, one of the only T-Bolts who hasn't been in on the fun tonight. Him and Baker, the only ones who haven't reached base yet, and Griffin Puval. So 3 of the top 4 hitters haven't gotten a hit yet, but everybody else really having a fun day so far. 2-0 the count for Acosta. Acosta joins in on the action, singles up the middle. 2 runners come home, and advancing to third is Caleb Sturdivant. And Acosta, for some fun measure, does a celebration at second as he moves over from all the throws. It's now 6-0 Thunderbolts.
I mean, where has this team been? It's a completely different lineup, it seems, and now the first 6 in the inning have reached. They'll force out the Grays starter, which has been a big struggle this season to force out the starter, and they get to him in the 4th inning. First 2 innings weren't that great, but, man, they're pouring it on here. And Noah Bagby's going to come in for the DC Grays. Really tough spot, 2nd and 3rd, still nobody out, and DeVilliers will skyrocket his ERA after this performance.
Well, Cohen DeVilliers was pitching really efficiently to start the game. It seemed like he was getting really quick outs, whether it was off the first pitch of the at-bat or the 3rd or the 4th. But the Thunderbolts attacking him eventually paid off. The Thunderbolts were either waiting on these walks or just waiting until the pitch count got pretty high up and eventually blasting singles through. We've seen 5 different singles this inning. Just unreal stuff from the Thunderbolts. More hits in this inning than all of last night.
This is the Athletic House call to the bullpen.
6-0 is the score. 0 outs. And another Southern University player in Bagby is going to get an opportunity. Going to need to help as much as he can is Bagby. The lefty just missed an opportunity to throw against Jonah Acosta, who's a lefty as well. He's now going to have to go against all righties until Jonah Acosta comes back up. Cameron Baker is waiting on deck after Bagby warms up.
Bagby will throw for consecutive days. He threw yesterday. DC had a doubleheader against the SoCo Braves, and in Game 1, Bagby comes in, first man out of the bullpen, just picks up 2 outs and gives up 3 earned runs. 2 hits, a walk, and strikeout 1. Only threw 14 pitches, so he should be pretty fresh to go back-to-back. But that game got out of hand pretty quickly for the DC Grays, losing it 12-0 in 8 innings to a SoCo Braves team that is not too far above them in the standings. But you don't see a lot of pitchers in this league throw on back-to-back days, especially this juncture in the season, trying to just preserve guys' arms and not overwork anyone. But Bagby has to bridge a gap here and at least get out of this inning, which still has no outs on the board.
Well, just simply not fun at all for Noah Bagby. But after yesterday, a chance to turn it around. But immediately, Baker swings first pitch. This one's going to be deep enough where it's caught, but advance will the runners. Sturdivant will score his 2nd run tonight as the runner for Kai Schmelzer, and advancing to 3rd was Jonah Acosta. 7-0 T-Bolts. Peter, this is just unreal.
It's an explosion. We just haven't seen an offensive performance like this in probably at least the last week. Last time I can think of where there was this much concentrated offense was all the way back against the Alexandria Aces in Game 1 of a doubleheader that the T-Bolts eventually took 19-8. It's good to see this lineup building off of each other, using that momentum to string together these big rallies, and still not even close to being done, just one away.
Well, something about the T-Bolts, about once a week, they just always have at least a game that just explodes for runs. Tonight might be the night. 7 so far, still threatening more. Trent Lopez fouls off his second strike of the at-bat. 1-2 the count, 1 out now on the board for Bagby. So he does exchange a run for an out. Double play, not an option really with Acosta at third unless he is gunned out on a fly out. Trying to tag. Trent Lopez sees this one at his knees, and they're going to call that strike 3.
Now batting for your Thunderbolts, the right fielder.
Yeah, probably not going to make him too upset with the situation. Team up 7-0, but Lopez would have loved an opportunity there to extend that lead and get on base for what would have been his 3rd time tonight. Instead, he's got to take a slow walk back to his dugout, and we'll see if Puval now can extend things.
Well, Acosta had his chance to join in on the fun, so that now leaves just Baker and Puval, who haven't reached base yet. Baker did just fly out with a sacrifice fly, so he got involved, and now Puval hits this one right over third base, and he gets involved on the fun. Acosta scores. 8-0 Thunderbolts. Griffin Puval just rockets that one really lightly over third base. And that drops in for a single and an RBI.
T-Bolt's going to bat around here in this 5th inning, something that Gaithersburg did to them twice last night. But bottom of the 4th inning, it's still an inning that has extended. 6 runs for Silver Spring, and Joey King, hitting for the 2nd time, has a chance to get his 2nd hit of the inning.
Joey King started us off this inning, as Peter just said, and he started off with authority. First pitch, swinging. And when you can get a hit on your first pitch, it can really do something for the confidence of the hitters. He sparked 4 straight singles from his team. Joey, then Kim, then Camacho, and then Kutney, all singled. This time, though, he hits it to shortstop, making the play for out number 3. The inning finally ends. Jackson Loomis throws it over to Boganski, but the Thunderbolts bring across 6 runners. Very successful inning for the Thunderbolts. And now the Grays going to have some catching up to do. 8-0 as we head to the top of the 5th inning. And we'll be back in just a second.
Wild Bill Sports is all about travel baseball and fun. At Wild Bill Sports, travel baseball is the journey players take to develop skills, increase confidence, and grow with integrity, both on and off the field. Wild Bill Sports also promotes community engagement and giving back. Contact Wild Bill Sports at wildbillsports.com. Wild Bill Sports, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House at 8606 Colesville Road in Silver Spring serves up Chop House classics, fresh seafood, Chesapeake Bay oysters, a raw bar, and hyper-seasonal local produce. It has one of the best bars in downtown Silver Spring, serving craft cocktails, beer, and wine. Jay Hollinger's Waterman's Chop House at 8606 Colesville Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Well, Matthew Calabrese comes in and ends the night for Christian Dre. And Dre with another magnificent day. He's faced the Grays now for the 3rd time this season. This might have been his best one yet. Finishes with 8 strikeouts, no earned runs. The most important detail there, no earned runs, no runs aboard. And he got plenty of cushion from his guys. 8-0 the ball game. So Calabrese is going to have some help and a cushion as he makes another appearance for the Thunderbolts. The Grays in an uncomfortable position. The Thunderbolts sitting at 5-17 on the season. have an interesting schedule this week. They do play the Giants 2 more times, as we mentioned last night, Peter. They played them last night. Play them 3 times total this week. Tomorrow on Wednesday at home here at Blair. And then, of course, on Friday as well at Criswell Automotive Field. The Thunderbolts have a huge opportunity to maybe put together some wins. We still haven't seen back-to-back wins this season for the Thunderbolts. But this game could be a huge step in the right direction if it continues to go the way it's going.
Number 36, Andrew Bagansky.
First baseman Andrew Bagansky back in for the second time of the game. Crazy to say, as the Thunderbolts already halfway through the third time of their order. Bagansky was a strikeout victim to Christian Dre, who webbed him up his first time around. This time he's got Matthew Calabrese. Calabrese, a 1-1 count, trying to pick up where Dre left off. What a day Dre had. We can officially close the book on him. Really dominated today for the Thunderbolts. As there is another strike that went around. I think it was called anyway. Bagansky says okay. Settles back in. The 2-2 just misses outside. Calabrese will have his first full count of the evening. And there's strike 3. Bagansky strikes out for a second time in 2 appearances. Matthew Calabrese with his first punch out of the inning. And Bagansky just looked at it.
Matthew Calabrese doing his best Christian Dre impression out there. Has to come in a tough spot. But the stress is a bit alleviated now with this 8-run cushion. He can play around with the bases empty, clean inning, not have to worry too much about an offensive threat exploding and putting the Grays in the lead.
Well, with that, Peyton Ford flies out to left field. Probably the easiest catch that Trent Lopez will make tonight. Goes right to him. And that's already 2 outs for Matthew Calabrese. Now Peyton Ford for the Grays. I feel like I'm mentioning this every time, but he was also a strikeout victim his first time around. He is the 9 spot today for the Grays, making his second appearance tonight at bat in the top of the 5th inning. Just goes to show you how great of a day that Dre had. 1-1 the count. 2 outs loaded. And this one skims low for ball 2. This one drops down, and there's a hit for the 9-hitter. Peyton Ford reaches base, struck out his first time around, but this time he strikes the left half of the outfield.
Now batting number 13,
The Grays looking for a lifeline. The throwback to first almost gets Peyton Ford. Good pickoff move from Calabrese. He'll have to pitch now to the top of the order. Swung on and missed. There's strike 1. excuse me, it was actually Hartley Rahman that reached base. Peyton Ford was the one who striked out previously, so Rahman gets a second hit of the game. Benny Bacard Jr. is up to bat at the 2 spot, who's 0 for 2 tonight with a double play and a strikeout. Rahman active at first base, as speedy as it gets. This one, the first single of the game, nicely caught by Matthew Kim, but just too late, as he had to dive for that one. Benny McCart Jr. just put it in the perfect spot. And back-to-back singles for the Grays with 2 outs. The possibility of breaking the dry spell here.
Not a great guy at the plate for it, though, just based on tonight's success. Loomis 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. He's no longer facing Christian Dre, though, which I'm sure he's grateful for.
Jackson Loomis swings for strike 1, but lets go of his bat. And this one might have killed somebody if anyone was around. Thankfully, no one was in the area, but it did go at least 7 feet behind him. 0-1 the count. Looking over a second at Rahman, Calabrese isn't able to catch the zone. 1-1. Just one more out here in the 5th to get. Almost 15 total retired batters without a run, but arguably the second biggest threat so far here to that scoreless game for the Grays. And there's strike 2. Loomis having a tough time seeing the ball today, as Peter alluded to. Really extended the arms for that one, but couldn't get any contact. 1-2. Calabrese steals. Rahman taking off. And a perfect hit and run execute. As there's the first run of the ball game. Rahman makes it home easily. Hartley Rahman, who's had 2 hits on the night, gets some help from his teammates, makes it 8-1. There's a single, the 3rd one in a row for the Grays. Started with Rahman, Bakar singled, and now Jackson Loomis singles for the RBI. 1 on the board for the Grays.
I think Calabrese and the T-Bolts would be more worried if there were not 2 outs on the board. But any pitch can end this inning. So no reason for Calabrese to really panic here. Just go right at the hitter and try to pitch to contact, hopefully searching for that 3rd out.
Well, we saw for the Thunderbolts when they put 6 in the bottom of the 4th, they had 5 singles in a row. The Grays right now at 3 in a row, but picked up 2 outs before those singles. So less of a threat, as Peter alluded to. Just 1 run to go by so far. But up in the 4th spot is Drew Rubinski. He's 0 for 2 as well with a strikeout. Jackson Loomis was able to break that 0 for 2 run. Let's see if Rubinski can as well. He's going to hit this one hard. Acosta with the bounce, throw over, and gets him. What a play by Jonathan Acosta. Seemed like there was barely a play to be made, but Acosta, the 305 man, makes it. There's the 3rd out of the inning. 1 run comes across on 3 singles, but there's the 3rd out. Matthew Kim will see Noah Bagby in the bottom of the 5th in just a moment. Tacoma Torch. The Tacoma Torch, founded in 2019, brings laughter and a sense of fun to residents in Tacoma Park and the DMV. The Tacoma Torch features satirical articles about the region that those with a sense of humor can appreciate. Send a headline or idea their way to tacomatorch@gmail.com and watch what they do with it. The Tacoma Torch is on the web at tacomatorch.com. Tacoma Torch, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Nando Peri Peri Chicken. Nando's Peri Peri Chicken on 924 Ellsworth Drive in Silver Spring is the best chicken in the world because it uses peri peri sauce. From chicken on the bone to wraps and sandwiches, along with salads and veggie options, Nando's is your choice for great food. Nando's Peri Peri Chicken on 924 Ellsworth Drive in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Welcoming you back in the bottom of the 5th inning. T-Bolts have come alive in this one, now leading at 8-1 over the DC Grays after putting up a touchdown in the bottom of the 4th inning. Their 6-run frame means that this game is now wide open in favor of the home team. Noah Bagby goes back to the hill for the DC Grays. Pitching on back-to-back days, Bagby threw 2/3 of an inning yesterday in game 1 of a doubleheader with the SoCo Braves. Gave up 3 earned runs in that game, but now comes back into this one in relief of the starter Cohen DeVillier. And a lot of those runs were credited to DeVillier. All 6 of them in that inning will go to Cohen. 8 earned runs for Cohen DeVillier on 3 innings, surrendering 7 hits, walking 1, and striking out 1. Bagby had to record all 3 outs in that frame, and now comes back out for a 2nd inning of work, facing off against 6, 7, 8 in the T-Bolts order. Matthew Kim, the 6-hitter, takes a strike on the inner third, although it pops out of the glove of Xavier Bradley, the catcher. Kim, playing second base, has moved up the order tonight. Had a good night last night, singled out of the 9 spot, and gave a bit of a rally in the 9th inning that eventually fell short as the T-Bolts dropped it 10-2 at Gaithersburg.
What an offensive performance it's been from the Thunderbolts. We were asking to see it come alive after it's been a little dull lately, and just really happy to see the bats moving today.
2 balls and a strike on Matt Kim. Infield single in the 4th inning. Part of a string of 6 straight to reach base in that frame, and part of 5 singles in that inning. He came around and scored as he takes ball 3. Kim, then Camacho, and Cutney, the 3 due up in this bottom of the 5th. Silver Spring Tacoma with a 7-run advantage. Now just trying to hold on to it. 3-1 pitch. Kim takes inside for strike 2. Late call from Rowland Hines, the home plate ump, but it does go the way of the Grays, and the count runs full. Kim starting out this frame with a extended at-bat. Bagby comes home on a 3-2, and it's poked softly left side. Third baseman Hartley Raman up with it, skips the throw, but it's picked up at first by Boganski for out number 1. Some shouts from the T-Bolts dugout that Boganski was off the bag when he made the catch. But first base ump Adam Stiles says no, and instead gives DC their first out of the 5th.
Well, we've had some entertaining plays at first base tonight for the Thunderbolts offense. One that ended up in an ejection from the Thunderbolts earlier in the day, and this one, another one that the dugout objects to.
Here's Sam Camacho, the 7-hitter from Clarion. Hits him. First pitch slider goes all the way inside, and Sam wears it off the stomach.
You know, Peter, that was really dangerous territory if that went any lower.
Batting for your Thunderbolts, the first baseman, number 14, Nolan Courtney.
So Camacho's aboard for the 2nd time tonight in a painful manner. 1 away in the 5th for Nolan Courtney, who has 2 singles on the day tonight. Courtney now 5 for 7 against the DC Grays this season. Had a 3 for 5 night back on June 5th. Also drove in 2 in that contest. He's driven in 1 more today. Came in that 4th inning where the T-Bolts ended up scoring 6 runs. Lifts this one out towards center field. Run in for Peyton Ford. Charges in and makes a shoestring catch for out number 2. Trying to double up Camacho. He doesn't slide, but he's back in by a step.
Ooh, that was close. The Grays could have made a solid argument there for out number 2, but Camacho luckily scampers in and avoids it. That could have ended the inning really fast.
Nolan Courtney sat down for the first time tonight, and now it's the 9-hitter Kai Schmelzer has reached base twice, a walk and a hit by pitch. Still a hitless night, though, and still without an official at-bat as he fouls the first pitch off for strike one.
You know, and Caleb Sturdivant definitely going to give Kai a dap at some point, as Caleb, his runner for the night in his first action, we've seen him in a while, has already been brought home twice.
A one off-speed lands in.
And for Caleb to get home, Kai has to get on base. So 2 runs for Caleb Sturdivant. He's padding his stats, and Kai Schmelzer will take it as he's able to get the equipment on a lot earlier. Great trade-off.
0-2, 2 outs. Slider hits him again. Second time Kai's been hit tonight. Second hit batsman in the inning for Noah Bagby. 2 on for the top of the order with 2 outs.
I've got to say, I don't think I've ever seen a 9-hitter not see this many strikes in a while. I mean, getting hit twice and walking in his other appearance, Kai Schmelzer doing his job to the fullest at the 9 spot.
The inning stays alive for Jonah Acosta. Ended the top half of the 5th with a spectacular running play. Now has a chance to leave an impact in the bottom half. First pitch sweeper misses outside from Bagby. A ball and no strikes against Acosta, hitting for the 4th time today. Singled in the 4th as part of a 1-for-3 day. Drove in 2 runs with that base knock. 1-0 is skied foul on the left side. Third baseman Rahman over towards his dugout, reaches and makes the grab, tumbling into a couple of DC Grays down that third base side. Ends the inning, and the Grays keep Silver Spring off the scoreboard. But the T-Bolts hold a 7-run advantage as we take things to the top of the 6th inning. Be right back with you on the Thunderbolts Baseball Network.
United Therapeutics in Silver Spring develops pharmaceuticals and technologies that help patients in need of organ transplantation. United Therapeutics is guided by the principles of always striving to do the right thing and relentlessly pushing to always do better. As a result, the company was included among America's best companies by Forbes magazine. United Therapeutics in Silver Spring is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Parkway Deli. The Parkway Deli on 8317 Grubb Road in Silver Spring has been dishing up deli classics since 1963. The Parkway Deli is a family business, and their family loves to bring great food and service to yours. The Parkway Deli is open 7 days a week, 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and at 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. The Parkway Deli on 8317 Grubb Road in Silver Spring, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Top of the 6th inning here at Blair Baseball Stadium, where the home team, the Thunderbolts, hold an 8-run lead against the DC Grays in a battle of the 2 bottom of the divisions in the Ripken League. Grays 8-14, last place in the South. Thunderbolts 4th out of 4 teams in the North with a record of 5-17. The third matchup between these 2 teams in what has been a pretty evenly matched series over the years. First time these teams met was a 13-5 T-Bolts win on the road on 14 hits in a game where 7 out of 9 starting Thunderbolts recorded a base knock. And Silver Spring never really struggled on their way to an 8-run win. But on the June 18th game, just about 2 weeks later, it was DC winning it at Blair by 4 runs. In a game that saw a lot of strikeouts and a lot of really good pitching, but the DC Grays were able to prevail there. We've seen a little bit of both tonight. Some good hitting from the Thunderbolts, continuing that trend, while also seeing the pitching collect a lot of strikeouts. And out comes Matt Calabrese, a guy that has collected his fair share of Ks on the evening. Comes out for his 2nd inning of work, facing off against 5, 6, and 7. Xavier Bradley hitting now, the right-handed hitting catcher. Then Evan Wilson and Ben Drinkwine. Bradley singled his last time up, gets a piece of this one to make it a ball and 2 strikes. Sun starting to descend. Just about fully gone. Casting a nice purple and pink hue prominently over right field. 1-2 pitch. Slider misses outside to the catcher Bradley. T-Bolt's defense at straightaway depth. We'll get you that reminder real quick. Lopez, Baker, and Puval, the three left to right in the outfield. Camacho at third base, Acosta and Kim up the middle. Gutney at first, and Schmelzer does the catching. There's Calabrese picking up the K. Make it 10 tonight for T-Bolt pitching. One away in the sixth.
Just ridiculous stuff from the pitching group tonight. Calabrese picking up right off of Dre. And Dre was really hard to follow up. 8 Ks in the performance for Dre. It's just unbelievable what we've seen tonight from this pitching staff.
One gone, nobody on. First pitch to Evan Wilson. Just misses below the zone. Ball one on the left fielder hitting sixth tonight. He's 1 for 2 with a single in the second. Struck out his last time up. Came against Christian Dre, his fellow Richmond teammate. Fouls this one off. 1 ball and 1 strike. With that Bradley strikeout, 8 of the 9 in DC's order have now gone down on strikes. The only one who has avoided it is Hartley Rahman, the top of the order, who has 2 singles and a ground out. 1-1 pitch hits Evan Wilson off of his right calf. Almost goes behind him. That was the only way it would have missed him, but instead Evan wears it and gets to first base as a 1-out base runner.
Well, that's one way to get on base. Nothing too much to worry about right now with the 7-run lead, but can't afford to hit too many guys.
First pitch to Ben Drinkwine is fouled straight back. 1 out, runner on first, top of the 6th inning. 8-1 T-Bolt's advantage. 7-hitter Drinkwine at the plate, 1 for 2 on the day. Single in the second, a strikeout in the fourth. Pickoff by Calabrese is late.
We didn't see him yesterday, but I'm sure we'll see him this week. Lee Turnipseed, one of the greatest names in the Cal Ripken League on the Giants. And Ben Drinkwine, definitely on that first-team all-name list.
Wilson goes. The pitch is a ball, and a swim move by Evan Wilson gets him to second safely.
That was pretty sweet from Wilson.
Pitch actually was a strike, so the count's 0-2 against Ben Drinkwine. Stolen base for Evan Wilson, his 4th of the season. 0-2 from Calabrese. Change-up flutters inside.
If Ben Drinkwine, if baseball doesn't work out at the next level, he's got the perfect bartender name.
Could explore an alternate career path after his baseball career. 1-2 slider is just high.
Well, when you can watch a pitch with 2 strikes like that that barely misses the zone without swinging, you know, you got to be pretty good at baseball.
Count now 2-2 in this righty-righty matchup. Wilson big jump, retreats. Calabrese deals. Called strike 3. Wouldn't even have been ball 4, but Drinkwine threw his bat regardless. And Schmelzer freezes him with the frame. 2 gone on 2 strikeouts here in the 6th.
You know what? I think that was his way of realizing that was strike 3, but trying to play it off. And there's no playing that off. That's just nasty stuff from Calabrese.
2 outs, runner at second for Andrew Boganski, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Calabrese spins, throws over it, gets into center field, but Wilson doesn't realize, and he doesn't advance.
Well, lucky break. Regardless, 2 outs. Advancing to third doesn't kill you, but we've seen that all too many times this season. And just glad that it didn't cause any damage.
Calabrese's first pitch to Boganski. Slider tapped on 2 hops to short. Acosta crow hop to first in time. Clean second inning for Calabrese after he surrendered 1 in the 5th. T-Bolts still hold a 7-run lead over the 8-14 DC Grays as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Keeping it here after this break on the Thunderbolts Baseball Network.
Silver Spring Jewelers. Silver Spring Jewelry is the Washington area's only complete jewelry store. The staff of 13 jewelry associates and 8 goldsmiths. Now in 3 locations in Tacoma Park, White Oak, and Silver Spring. Family owned and operated since 1971, specializing in diamonds, custom engagement rings, repairs, engraving, and cash for gold. Go to silverspringjewelers.com for more information. Silver Spring Jewelry, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Sky Point Federal Credit Union. Sky Point Federal Credit Union, they make banking simple. Sky Point believes banking should be easy to understand, personalized, and focused on making the community a better place. Whether opening your first account or planning for your future, Sky Point has the financial tools to help you hit it out of the park. Sky Point Federal Credit Union, they make banking simple. Visit Sky Point's branch in Silver Spring. More at skypointfcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender.
Entering the bottom of the 6th inning here at Blair Baseball Stadium, where the T-Bolts have advantage over the DC Grays by a score of 8-1. Alongside Brian Alves, I'm Peter Kelly. So grateful for everyone joining us on the live stream this evening and for everyone who's joined us throughout the season. We appreciate your support and are excited to bring you T-Bolts coverage as we now are ready to get into July, last day of June here in Montgomery County, before we turn the page on the calendar and bring up a new month, the final month of the Ripken League season. Noah Bagby back to the hill for the DC Grays. Going to work on his 3rd inning out of the DC Grays bullpen. Going to face off against 2, 3, and 4. Tough part of the T-Bolts order, Cam Baker, Trent Lopez, and Griffin Puval. Baker still the only T-Bolt that has not been on base tonight. 1 of 2 without a hit. The other one, Kai Schmelzer, has reached base 3 times on a pair of hit-by pitches and a walk. But Baker, a couple flyouts and a ground out. One of his flyouts a sac fly, so he is able to pick up an RBI. Takes the first pitch fastball that almost hits him. He scoots out of the way for ball number 1. Bagby is now through 2 innings of scoreless baseball. Gave up a couple of runs in the 4th inning, but they weren't his. They were Cohen DeVilliers. Sent in the air to left center field. Long run for Evan Wilson, but the left fielder's got it. Undercutting the center fielder Peyton Ford for the first down.
You know what, Peter? You talked about Evan Wilson playing infield at Richmond. I was expecting center field and left field to run into each other there. I thought that might have been a possibility. But Ford and Wilson did a good job of communicating as both of them were dashing towards it, and Wilson made the play.
1 out, bottom of the 6th for Trent Lopez. 1 for 3 tonight. Did reach on an error in the 3rd inning. His single was in the 1st. He's got a 1-0 count against him on a pitch that goes well inside from Noah Bagby. The left-hander now fully in a string of right-handed bats. It started with Cam Baker, and then the next 8 will all hit from the right side. Only one that hits left-handed is Jonah Acosta. Tapped foul by Lopez, and the count's 1-1 on the left fielder out of Cornell University. Just finished up his freshman season, went to high school just down the road at BCC, Bethesda Chevy Chase. Was a really good contributor for that Barons team. Played in a tough division in Montgomery County in the 4A grouping. But his senior year, he had .569 with 4 homers and an OPS over 1,700. Not bad stats at all from the miniature muscle. He's not got the biggest frame, just 5'10", but muscle is the operative word there. Counts 2-1 against Lopez. He had 4 home runs this season at Cornell. That was tied for the team lead for a Big Red team that struggled in the Ivy League. 2-1 misses inside, 3 balls and a strike. Lopez came to Silver Spring on a hot streak over his last month at Cornell. He had .276 with all 4 of his home runs coming over that last 30 days. He raised his batting average by over 80 points in that span. And now here in Silver Spring, he's hitting .360 with 2 home runs and 3 doubles. 3-1 is nowhere close, and Lopez works a 5-pitch walk. He's a 1-out base runner as Griffin Puval, the cleanup hitter, will stand in.
Well, Peter, I'll say this for you just in case it happens. Didn't get the opportunity there, but you said that you're feeling a home run from Trent Lopez today. Took the walk there, but still might have some time to shoot one over, and I wouldn't be surprised. He's really just impressed me all season long. He's tied for the most home runs on the team with Gabe Pagase. You just never know.
Throw over gets away, and it skips past the first baseman, Boganski. Lopez takes a turnaround second. He wants third, but he'll pump the brakes, and he would have gotten there. He could even go now, but instead he will hold at second base. It will just be a one-base error from the pitcher, Noah Bagby. Should have been, too, but Lopez a little bit caught off guard and ends up staying put at second base. In a 7-run game, those are the kind of mistakes that the manager, Brock Hunter, can live with. And Puval likely scores him with a single. You have seen his speed all times this season. First pitch to Griffin Puval is a ball inside. 1 ball and no strikes against the right fielder hitting cleanup. Comes into today hitting .220. Against DC this year, he's just 1 for 8. The one hit was a double, came in that June 5th game that the T-Bolts won by 8 runs. Slider high is 2-0. Puval 1 hit in 3 chances tonight, a single in the 4th inning. And that caused the T-Bolts to bat around in the frame. Brought up Joey King, who stands on deck for the 2nd time in the inning. Gets under this one and nubs it foul off of our press box, and the count goes 2 balls and 1 strike.
Still thinking about that previous play with Trent Lopez halfway to third, turning around, not realizing the base is completely open with the ball thrown away. That was just really funny. I bet it wasn't funny at all for the Thunderbolts dugout, but
2-1 is lifted foul first base side. Count evens at 2-2. Yeah, Trent's probably really hoping that Puval will bring him in to score so his mistake can be forgotten.
He just completely turned around when he went back to second. I'm pretty sure even people were screaming like, hey, turn around, look, you might be able to go to third. And, you know, Trent was laughing around about how he was halfway to third and turned around.
He's stuck at second. He might steal it here. He goes to third. It's fouled off. He could have wiped his slate clean with that stolen base. It would be his first of the season, but instead he goes back to second. That's a surprising stat to me that Lopez hasn't stolen a bag this year. Granted, he has missed about 10, 15 games this season, but he's shown such great speed playing the outfield and digging for second on a lot of his doubles that he's hit. I'm surprised he hasn't picked up a stolen bag. Count still 2-2. Bagby deals, and Puval pops it up. Right side of the infield. 3 around it. The right fielder, Drinkwine, charges in, but no one sees it. Puval going to second, but Lopez was there to throw to second bases in time. And now Trent will finally get to third on a wacky, wacky play. Second pop fly that DC has really struggled with tonight. Evan Wilson dropped one that brought in 2 runs in left field way back in that 3rd inning. And now here, it was the second baseman, Benny Bakar, who was the closest, but he just never even saw it. You could see him throw his hands up, and it falls about 3 feet to his right. The mistake there was by Puval. He didn't look up and see Lopez was still put at second base. And so they get him out. They get Puval out at second base, and Lopez does get to third base with 2 outs. Wow, a chaotic play there, and DC's fortunate to get an out.
Well, after Trent Lopez finally made his long-lasting appearance at third base, he had a long conversation with his third base coach, pointing out a lot of different things of, you know, what they could have done better, the communication or lack of it. And Trent Lopez at some point was going to be hearing it. Just a funny situation, really. A little bit of a troublemaker on the team.
1 ball and 1 strike against the 5-hitter, Joey King. Takes a slider inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. The right-handed swinging Joey King is 1 for 3 tonight. Singled to start off a 6-run rally in the 4th inning. Also has a strikeout and a ground out. He goes around there. He doesn't get tagged, but the throw does float down to first base and beat him. So there is a strikeout for Joey King. It is his 2nd of the ball game, and I was misled a little bit in that occasion, but it does end the inning. 8-1, T-Bolts can't score after Lopez gets all the way to third base. Going to the top of the 7th inning, Calabrese going back to the hill when we come back.
Ben Norkin Architecture. Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Avenue in Tacoma Park, Maryland, helps people turn their dreams into their new forever home. Whether it's a renovation, addition, or a new home, Ben will assist you in picking colors and finishes. He'll explain building codes, zoning requirements, and materials that stress energy efficiency. Ben Norkin of Ben Norkin Architecture at 7204 Trescott Ave in Tacoma Park, Maryland, a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. AFI Silver Theater. The AFI Silver Theater and Cultural Center in downtown Silver Spring presents the best in American and world cinema. They show classic American mysteries from the black and white era, as well as the most modern digital content from around the world. The AFI Silver Theater also features filmmaker interviews, panel discussions, musical performances, and more. The AFI Silver Theater at 8633 Colesville Road in Silver Spring is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
We're through 6 innings here at Montgomery Blair. And the road team, the DC Grays, will step back to the plate for their 7th trip up. They've only scored 1 run tonight. In the previous 2 games between these two, DC has not lit up the scoreboard, 5 in the first and 8 in the second. And 8 runs, a smaller number than you'd think when it comes in the Ripken League, when we've seen teams score 25, 27, 20. Just so many explosions of runs that not only those numbers that I've listed have only came in the T-Bolts matchups. It is a very offensive-heavy league. And DC, a team that has struggled on that side of the ball all season. 0-1 the count against Peyton Ford. 9-1-2 due up for the Grays. Ford, the center fielder out of California University of Pennsylvania. Waves and misses there to make the count 0-2. Ford 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Combined this year against the T-Bolts, he is now 0 for 7 with 5 Ks. He does not like to see the T-Bolts on the other side of the field. He fights that one off to keep the AB alive. Ford hitting just 176 this season. The Cal U Vulcan hasn't really found his stride after he hit 280 in his college season. 0-2. Slider hits him. I don't know what it is about tonight, but we've had our fair share of beanballs. Calabrese hits his second DC Gray. And his leadoff man on here in the 7th inning as the lineup card turns over for Hartley Rahman.
Peyton Ford was just hoping for a chance to get on base against these T-Bolts after the track record that you just brought up. But I'm sure that wasn't the way he planned to do it. Regardless, a base runner and an opportunity, the lifeline is open.
First pitch, a big cut and a miss from Hartley Rahman. I mentioned this last inning, but Rahman still the only DC Gray who has not struck out tonight. He's 2 for 3, but he was doubled up at first base back in the first inning on an infield fly that he just never even saw when he was trying to steal second. 1 ball and 1 strike on the third baseman from Catawba College, a D2 university down in North Carolina. Before that, spent his freshman season at James Madison. Played for a Dukes team in the Sun Belt. Calabrese throws over and Ford's in standing. Rahman, one of the best averages on this Grays team. Second only behind Benny Bakar, who stands on deck. But Hartley hitting 286. About halfway home in this season. 2 balls and 1 strike against Rahman. His average will go up after his 2-hit day today. DC, a team that just does not hit well across the board. As a team, they're batting .231, which is an average that doesn't really get you in the starting lineup in Major League Baseball. And that's what they're doing as a combined unit. That is dead last in the 8-team league. They're also last in runs scored, hits, RBI, and walks. Just has not been a great offensive season for this Grays team, and it's part of the reason why they're 8-14 and in last place in the South Division. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Righty-righty matchup with Calabrese and Rahman. Left-hander on deck for DC, Benny Bakar. Could be a change coming, although it's not a left-hander in the T-Bolts bullpen. E.J. Youngling throws warm-up pitches as a right-handed relief option.
Well, if E.J. Youngling pitches, I might have to get back into my Star Wars bag.
2-2 is a swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts today for Matthew Calabrese. Picks up the first out of the 7th inning with a flourish.
Well, 12 total strikeouts from the Thunderbolts today, and Calabrese with ease. Just doing as he please. No, didn't work. That one didn't work.
It's not bad. I'll live with it. One away, runner on first for Benny Bakar, the second baseman, hitting second. Takes ball 1 outside.
I've been trying to emulate with Dr. Dre on the mound tonight. I was trying to emulate my Dr. Seuss all night, just trying to rhyme as many things as possible.
I respect it, yeah. Keeping the creativity up.
Yeah. One of the greatest authors of our generation.
A ball and no strikes on Bakar. Calabrese comes home and gets a called strike on the second baseman. So now officially, all 9 hitters in the Grays order have struck out tonight. That's been the common theme when the T-Bolts face the Grays, is that the Grays strike out a lot. They also are bottom of the league in that category, having struck out 180 times as a team coming into tonight's game. That's about 8.5 a contest over their 22 games. In the June 5th game, the Grays struck out 11 times. And in the June 18th Grays game, although they won it against the T-Bolts, they struck out 14 times. Calabrese keeping a close eye on Peyton Ford, who's 5 for 6 on stolen bases this season. In an 8-1 game, might be worth it to just come to the plate. Instead, he throws over again, and it's nowhere close.
Well, I remember that DC Gray game at home. And just the fact that you strike out 14 batters, it seemed like every out they got was a strikeout, but regardless, DC still found a way to get runs. But today, you know, the consequences of striking out that much are paying dividends for the Grays.
Calabrese has thrown over 3 straight times. He now comes home on a 1-2, and Bakar pops it up. It gets out of play.
Well, I'm just happy that he pitched that time.
I know, it's getting a little ridiculous, if I'm being honest. 3 straight, and Ford has not slid back into first base a single time, despite being looked at about every other pitch. Bakar 1 for 3 on the day, matching his stat line from the second time these two teams played, where he came in relief of the injured Evan Rosario and then ended up going 1 for 3. Fourth time through the DC lineup here in the 7th. 8-1, T-Bolts advantage. 1-2, outside. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 away, top 7, runner on base. Calabrese trying to keep him at bay. Chopper gets over the first baseman, couldn't he, and in the right field. Ford's going to round second and chug for third. And Bakar is at first with his second single of the day. Puts runners on the corners now with DC trying to slice into the 7-run deficit. They bring up Jackson Loomis, who's 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts, but did single his most recent trip up. And now with Loomis looming, Brock Hunter's going to step out to the mound and make a call to the bullpen. Brian, you might want to get that Star Wars bag ready, because it will be E.J. Youngling, the junior from Moravian, who will come into this game relieving Matthew Calabrese. Calabrese, much better outing than his last time out. Goes into his 3rd inning of work on this Tuesday night. 2 1/3 inning he'll close with on an even 50 pitches, giving up just 1 earned run at the moment, although 2 runners on base are both attributed to him. He struck out 4 and walked 0. T-Bolts pitching, he's only walked 1 tonight over the first 6 1/3 innings. It was a walk to Xavier Bradley that came all the way back in the 2nd inning. E.J. Youngling has had a couple of tough acts to follow. Christian Dre going 4 scoreless as the starter, and then Calabrese turning in 7 outs of solid relief, giving up just 1 run so far. And now E.J. has to strand those runners and end the inning, and he's got to do it against the very middle of his order. 3, 4, and 5 are due up for the Grays with 1 out on the board.
E.J. Youngling, one of the returners from last year's team in the bullpen, was a relief guy last year for the Thunderbolts. This year did have a start, as he was kind of just a guy that was supposed to go to 2 to 3 innings in that start. But other than that, has also just been a relief guy, and he's been really solid this year. This summer, with a 5.68 ERA, 10 total strikeouts in 5 appearances, 12 total innings, getting about a little over 2 innings in appearance. He's been really solid, and I've liked what I've seen from him. There's been a couple games where it's gotten away, but specifically I remember that game against Bethesda, and even that game against the Grays. He just had some things that didn't go his way, a lot of runs given up that weren't actually earned. So from what we've seen from EJ, the stuff has been there, and I'm loving the fact that he's getting another opportunity in this game against the Grays when they already have a 7-run advantage.
1 out in the top of the 7th. Runners on 1st and 3rd for DC. Youngling taking his warm-up throws. A Moravian Greyhound was supposed to be joined by a couple of his teammates on this team. David Vazzo and Jack Capo suited up to start off the year, but both had to exit with injuries. Vazzo, a middle of the infield guy, and Capo, an outfielder that could play all over the diamond. Both big losses for the T-Bolts that they've had to overcome. Youngling has subsisted, and he's been the only Moravian Greyhound to make it through this entire season thus far. His first pitch is clobbered on the ground to short. Acosta wants 2, goes to Kim for 1, over to first. Not in time. Behind him for a half a step. And the first base umpire, Adam Stiles, has not made a lot of friends tonight in the T-Bolts dugout. Probably 3 or 4 calls that he has made that have all gone against Silver Spring. Would have ended the inning on a twin killing, but instead it brings home another Grays run, and Loomis is on base with now 2 outs for the cleanup hitter, Rubinski.
Youngling, one with the force, almost retired the dark side of the order for the Grays. But no double play is made. We keep on going.
Youngling spins, throws back, but couldn't catch it. They would have had Loomis picked off. Two outs, runner on first. Rubinski standing in, awaiting the first pitch. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Youngling deals. Popped up. Straight up. A mile high. Third base side, Camacho's over. Who's calling it? Cudney does, but it falls and goes in the foul ground. And a sigh of relief from Cudney and the rest of that infield. Cudney was the one who ended up calling it, I guess. Camacho was closest to it, but faded off. And good awareness from Nolan to let it go out of play after it bounces in front of him. Just a strike on Drew Rubinski and nothing more.
You know what? If I speak, I may be in big trouble, but I think that was actually fair just by a little bit. I could be wrong, but a huge breath of relief.
No balls and 1 strike. Youngling deals. Curveball is beautiful. 0-2, 2 outs. EJ trying to limit the damage here in the 7th inning. Lead has been trimmed to 6. DC has scored the last 2 runs, but it hasn't been enough to make it competitive. T-Bolts exploded for 6 in the 4th. Got him swinging. Loomis was on the run, but it didn't even matter. Rubinski is fanned for the 2nd time tonight. Youngling picks up a strikeout and a ground out of the bullpen. Stretch time at Blair as we head to the bottom of the 7th. T-Bolts ahead by 6 runs and completely in the driver's seat with just 2 outs, 2 innings to get.
KOA Sports in Gaithersburg, Maryland is committed to shaping kids' lives through sports. KOA Sports aims to develop each child to their full potential as an athlete and as a person. They also help your student athlete in the classroom, on the playing field, and anywhere in between. Learn more about Koa Sports at koasports.org. Koa Sports is a proud supporter of your Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts. Parkview Capital. Parkview Capital believes your financial strategy should reflect more than numbers. It should reflect you. As a trusted investment advisory firm, Parkview Capital partners with individuals and families to build and protect wealth. Parkview Capital personalizes strategies rooted in your values and long-term goals. Whether you're growing your portfolio or preserving a legacy, Parkview Capital crafts a clear, customized path to your financial future, one that evolves with you. Parkview Capital, a proud supporter of the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts.
Fans, it's time for a snack. Head on down to the concession stand and get
Well, I hope everyone watching at home was able to stretch it out there in the 7th inning stretch. Not very long to go in this contest. T-Bolts need to collect just 6 more outs before they can pick up their second win in 3 tries over the Grays this season. But they'll hit here in the 7th before they can get their defense and pitching back out there. And they'll do it once more against Noah Bagby. First guy and only guy out of the DC Grays bullpen. Going out there for his 4th inning of work. He threw 14 pitches yesterday in game 1 of a doubleheader. And now today on no rest has thrown 40 in his 3 innings so far. Still yet to give up an earned run. He goes against Matthew Kim to start things off. Kim, Camacho, and Kutney. 6, 7, and 8 in the T-Bolts order. Silver Spring has had an up-and-down year offensively. And their past couple of games have kind of been a microcosm for their entire season. Look back at that last night game. T-Bolts only scored 2 runs on 7 hits and lost it by 8 to the Gaithersburg Giants. Then you look at the Saturday game, they put up 7 runs in a shortened game. Ended up losing, though, to the Southern Maryland Senators, and Senators seem to be beating everyone this year, so it's not really a lot of shame in that one. But that one a much better offensive showing, and then you go back to Friday night, just 1 run across against the Crop Dusters. Counts 2-0 against Matthew Kim, who's been a big reason that this offense has surged back into the limelight in this game tonight. Kim a single in the 4th and came around and scored. Also has played good defense at second base. He ambushes this one and dumps it down the left field line. Gets away in the corner from Wilson. Kim takes a turn. He wants second base, and he's going to park right there. Second double of the year for Matthew Kim. Second hit of the evening. And it's a man on second with nobody out here in the 7th.
Matthew Kim, all reliable. Just seems like he's getting better and better as a hitter as the season goes on. There's no doubt about the talent in the infield, second base and shortstop spot. But when he's hitting like that, it's hard for this guy to be a rotational player. 2 for 3 on the night. He had a hit last night. Matthew Kim seeing the ball well. He's a very smart, calm, and collected player. And it's all working out for him tonight.
Kim starting off the year as an in and out of the lineup guy, but as of recently, it's mostly been in. He's now started the last 6 games, picking up a hit in 5 of them. Ground ball gets past Rahman at third base, and Kim's going to score off the bat of Sam Camacho for his second base hit of the day, and he's going to go to second off of a lazy throw by Evan Wilson. Couple of doubles to start out the 7th inning. T-Bolts get back on the board for the first time since the 4th, and it's 9-2 T-Bolts.
now batting for your Thunderbolts, the first baseman, number 14, Nolan Kutney.
An all-around offensive barrage from the Silver Spring team here on this Tuesday night. Not letting up against the Grays team that they would desperately like to beat. First pitch to Nolan Kutney is a called strike. Kutney, the first baseman, has slid all the way down to 8th in the order. Has been in the cleanup spot for basically every time he's been in the lineup. But now batting 8th for the first time this season, and maybe his new looks have been paying off. He's 2 for 3 with a flyout, singles in the 3rd and 4th. Finds himself in an 0-2 hole against Noah Bagby. Just gave up his first earned run of the day, as Kim came home to score in a Camacho double.
Sometimes hitting in a different spot can kind of put you in a new area that you haven't seen before. It can bring some confidence.
Grounds it over to short. Camacho's going to advance. Loomis throws, and it's way over the first baseman, Andrew Boganski. Camacho holds at third, Gutney's safe at second base, and now Sam Camacho scores. The DC Grays are just crumbling here at Blair. A brutal defensive inning from the team from our nation's capital. Gutney on second base, and he will take a seat, now rise up. It's an error on Jackson Loomis, his first of the season at short. Ends up scoring Sam Camacho after a brief delay. Not sure why he didn't go right away, but was able to when the throw went to second. It's now 10-2. T-Bolts can push a mercy rule here. If they can grab 4 more runs in this frame, they'll be ahead by 12, and the game will come to a close. Kutney goes for a third. There's no throw as it gets away. Kutney showing off the wheels. Second stolen bag of the season for the UMBC retriever. And now for Kai Schmelzer, the 9-hitter and catcher, there's a chance to extend this lead even further.
Well, this is pretty fun, isn't it, Peter? This is great stuff from the Thunderbolts. It's been a complete effort all around. Exactly the game that you're looking for. A get-right game that you'd want. 10-2 is the score. Thunderbolts just in absolute control.
Schmelzer takes ball 2. The freshman catcher has been on board 3 times this evening. 2 hit by pitches and a walk. Strike 1 on Kai. Batting with nobody out and a runner on third.
Still no outs.
It's fun when the T-Bolts get hits and score runs, isn't it?
Peter, it's a blast. I'll tell you that.
It's fun not only because winning is fun, but because the T-Bolts dugout has been a source of constant energy, and they've stayed alive, win or loss, throughout this entire season. 3-1 to Kai. Is swung on and popped up. The infield was in, so it's going to be Ford's ball. The center fielder charging all the way in, and the shortstop Loomis going for it, but he can't make the catch. Kutney scores the 11th, and now Kai going to second, and he'll get there. He's thinking 3 as it gets to the backstop. Throw from the catcher, Bradley, is late. DC having one of the roughest defensive innings I've seen in a while. Pop-up on the infield. The infield was in, like I said. And so Ford, really the only one who had a chance to get there. Loomis was all turned around and just could not make that play. It is now 11-2. T-Bolts have put across 3 more in this inning. Still nobody out. And the top of the order back up for the 5th time today.
I mean, as happy and as successful as the T-Bolts have been today, I think the happiest person could be Caleb Sturdivant, as he's now at third base after Kai did work. And he had an opportunity to potentially run home here as the courtesy runner, but he stays. He could get 3 runs as a runner on the base paths. While not even having to bat tonight, he's getting to his first action in a while. But him and Kai have been a dynamic duo tonight in terms of getting on base and bringing him home.
1-0 count on Jonah Acosta. Cutter to the shortstop, misses well high. 2 balls and no strikes on Jonah. 1 for 4, singled in the 4th inning. Brought in 2 runs and also scored himself in that frame. 2-0 count, Sturdivant taking a lead off third base. Pitch misses below the zone for ball 3. So great to see Sturdivant back out there. A guy that has been such a presence on this T-Bolts team for the past 2 years. Brings a lot of veteran leadership, making his first appearance of the season since June 19th, and that one hits the head of Acosta, but he is seemingly unfazed as he takes a long way to first, and now will get a second to catch his breath. It looks like it got mostly helmet. Hopefully everything's okay. Never want to play around with that, so the trainer and manager Brock Hunter will go out and speak it over with him, but he's fine. He fades away and pump fakes a shot as he will now take his time to regroup. That's going to be it for Noah Bagby. 7th inning was I don't want to say what I'm going to say, but it was just a rough showing for the DC Grays in this frame. 3 runs across, and the T-Bolt's not done yet. The mercy run Mercy Rule run will come to the plate here in the bottom of the 7th as Baker represents the 14th, which would make it a 12-run lead, and we would end early.
Well, I think that would be a benefit to almost anybody right now. I mean, you get some more runs in, you keep the runs going, and you get a little break. You don't have to throw another guy in the mound potentially for the Thunderbolts, and you get ready for another exciting game of baseball at Blair tomorrow. It's extra motivation for the guys to just keep going. Last time, and the only time that they mercy ruled this year was when they mercy ruled the Aces here at home. What was their, I believe, first win of the season, 20-0.
So Noah Bagby exits. Nelson Hayes takes over. True freshman will play at Georgetown in the spring. Hasn't yet played in college ball, but played at Jackson Reed, and that's where his head coach, Robinson Mateo, is the coach. A lot of Jackson Reed guys on this DC Grays team. There's a new catcher in this game for DC. I think it's Ethan Fox Fernandez. He's really the only other catcher on the roster. He's taken over for Xavier Bradley without announcement or fanfare. And so he is now the backstop as Hayes tosses his warm-up pitches. He comes in with runners in the corners after Acosta was hit on the head by a pitch. Nobody out still. Jonah seemingly and gratefully okay. Really can't afford to spend too much time in the field without him. Great defender, great hitter, great clubhouse guy. And he'll stay in after he was hit on the helmet. That's a pretty good invention, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Cameron Baker up now for the Thunderbolts, playing center field today, usually Gabe Pegase's spot. And think about this. The hitter of the week in the Cal Rookie League gets a night off for the first time in God knows how long, and the Thunderbolts are winning.
Jonah steals second. Hit by pitch having no negative effects on him. He's now a perfect 15 for 15 on the base paths this season. He's one off the league lead. Chase Fulford of the Senators has 16.
Well, hitting him in the head doesn't do the job. You still got to get him out.
1-0 from Hayes, misses high and tight. Baker still has not been on base tonight. The only Thunderbolt who's been unable to reach. And now with Schmelzer's single earlier this frame, the only T-Bolt without a hit. 0 for 3, did have an RBI sac fly, came in the 4th. Count 3-0, and both runners are going to go. Sturdivant's going to score. Makes it 12-2. And the courtesy runner Sturdivant playing for the first time in 11 days. Showing off the speed there and coming home, stepping on the plate.
Well, I have no idea how I'd be able to pull up the stat, but this has to be the best, if not the closest, in runs scored as a courtesy runner. 3 runs scored as a courtesy runner tonight for Sturdivant. Just really impressive from Kai getting him on base, and then once being on base, Sturdivant getting home.
12-2 T-Bolts as the count now runs 3-1 on Cam Baker. Still nobody out. Hayes deals and Baker taps it foul.
As I mentioned, Baker playing center field in a spot where Gabe Pegase has been playing, in a spot where Sturdivant started the season in. He's held it down there tonight. But Gabe Pegase getting a much-needed break. And the Thunderbolts holding off in dominant fashion without him.
3-2 is waved on and missed by Baker. Just the 4th time the T-Bolts have struck out tonight, and Joey King has 2 of them. That's been an area that Silver Spring has cleaned up over the past couple of games. And it's led to balls being put in play, and we've seen it tonight against the Grays. Good things can happen when you get bats a ball. Grays have committed 4 errors tonight, but it feels like more with how many runs have come across. First pitch down low to Trent Lopez, the left fielder hitting 3rd.
Well, I want in on what you said earlier, Peter. You said you're feeling a Trent homer right now, or you said you're feeling a Trent homer tonight. I'm going to try to call it right now.
Well, we'd love to see it. It would end the game. It would be a walk-off shot, making it 14-2. And
have you ever seen a 14-2 walk-off?
yeah, not very common. Lopez has 2 bombs on the year. Tonight he has reached 3 times. Single walk and got on base via an error. A ball and a strike. Lopez checks swing appeal to first. He didn't go. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 away in the 7th. 4 across in the frame. Now a 12-2 lead for Silver Spring. Acosta takes a lead off of third base. He was hit by a pitch, stole second and third. 2-1 from Nelson Hayes, skips in. Good block by Fox Fernandez to keep Jonah where he is.
Well, he can't hit a home run if he doesn't get a pitch to hit.
He might get one here in a 3-1 count. Hayes deals. Lopez takes ball 4. Trent's second walk in his last 2 plate appearances. Just the 3rd walk tonight from T-Bolt batters. Not a lot of walks, not a lot of strikeouts, which means a lot of balls have been put in play. And it's led to 12 hits and 4 errors committed. All accounted for these 12 runs that have come across. Griffin Pouvel, the cleanup hitter, up for the 5th time. He's got 2 of the 12 hits. Infield single his last trip up on a pop-up that was not caught at second base. Trent might steal here.
Well, you mentioned earlier that it's really odd that he hasn't gotten a stolen base tonight. I'd agree with you. He hasn't gotten a stolen base all season. I think he has a great opportunity here.
Curveball lands in, and suddenly it's 0-2. If there was ever a time, it'd be right now. Middle infield double play depth. Corners pinched in. Boganski holds on the runner at first base. Curveball again, this time it's low.
Well, maybe with the lead that the Thunderbolts have, maybe he won't take off for second. But then again, who knows?
1 ball, 2 strikes. Fouled off by Pouvel. One-two pitch. Line left field. Wilson got under it. It's going to score a run as Acosta comes home after tagging from third. An RBI sac line out from Griffin Pouvel makes it 13-2.
One more would end it, but only one more out to do it. They could always do it in the 8th inning as well, but, you know, where is the excitement in that?
Exactly 2.5 hours in. First pitch was at 7:04. Curveball to King, catches the zone. Joey King, the 9th and final man to step to the plate in this inning. Matthew Kim on deck would represent the batting around batter. King 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Lopez goes on a pickoff move, and he's in safely. That is going to be his first stolen bag of the season. Caught the Gray sleeping a bit there and sneaks to second base as the winning run just 2 bags away.
Bang. There you go, Trent Lopez. Don't arrest him because he's just stolen his first base of the season.
0-1, King takes outside. Just 2 really big innings from the T-Bolts. 6 runs in the 4th, now 5 runs here in the 7th. Hayes spins and puts it in his pocket. 1-1 with 1 out. King holds up there. It looked like he went around, but there was no appeal. And so it's ball 2. Swing and a miss, 2-2 on Joey King. Can win the game here if he can bring home Trent Lopez. 2 outs in this inning. Runner on second base for Joey King, who walked it off back on June the 24th, 6 days ago, against the Big Train. High and tight, counts full. His walk-off then was a more traditional one. A 7-inning game because it was part of a doubleheader, but he did win it 6-5 on a single up the middle. This walk-off would be via the Mercy. But an RBI counts all the same. He goes up the middle again. Are they going to send Trent? He's waved around by Skip Eckert. Here's the throw to the plate by Ford. It's in time. And he's safe. They drop the ball, and the T-Bolts are going to walk it off. 14-2. Joey King does it for the second time this week. A little bit less drama at the end, but the same result. Silver Spring wins it, and you can book it for the Bolts. A 12-run Mercy Rule win, their second Mercy of the season, and their second time taking down the Grays in 2026.
Huge, just huge. You want to win a game with authority, and that's exactly what the Thunderbolts did. If this is the spark plug on the season, I wouldn't be surprised. 14-2, you need momentum. Here's momentum. Tomorrow you play the Gaithersburg Giants. They right now are in a game against the Alexandria Aces. They're up, I believe, 5-2 at one point. Now 9-7. Aces coming back in that one. The Thunderbolts, again, haven't gone back-to-back this year, but after what I just saw today, I have a feeling they might be able to put forth momentum into tomorrow. Regardless of that, what a ball game we just saw from the Thunderbolts today, Peter. Probably one of the 3 best games we've seen all season. I mean, nothing can really top that 20-0 Alexandria Aces win, but just amazing stuff from the Thunderbolts today.
Fans, thank you for coming out to tonight's game. We hope you enjoyed.
Finally, the T-Bolts were able to string together some offense, and it comes on a night where their pitching is consistent as ever. Christian Dre starts the game with 4 scoreless innings. And then in relief, Matthew Calabrese and E.J. Youngling combined for 3 innings of 2-run ball. T-Bolts now with a winning record against the Grays this season, 2 wins in 3 tries. For Silver Spring, it's 14 runs, 13 hits, no errors. That is 4 straight games where the T-Bolts have not committed an error. They lead the league in the category, but something might have happened in that clubhouse, and now they just play perfect defense, it seems. For DC, 2 runs on 8 hits. They were not perfect tonight. 4 errors and really struggled defensively. Christian Dre is in line for the win after his 4 innings to start this game. On the inverse, Cohen DeVilliers is going to pick up the loss as the Grays starter, giving up 8 runs in his 3 innings of work. Time of the game, 2 hours, 34 minutes, as the game ends at 9:39 after its 7:04 first pitch. Brian, a much better night than our game last night in Gaithersburg. An 8-run loss and now a 12-run Mercy Rule win thanks to another Joey King walk-off single. Any final thoughts as the T-Bolts get ready for the Giants for the second time in 3 days?
Well, the last thing I'll say on the broadcast tonight, take this momentum into tomorrow. Get that second win in a row. They've been itching at it every time they've won a game this season. It's time. They're due. What a game tonight. Bring it on tomorrow.
Final score at Blair, T-Bolts 14, Grays 2 in 7 innings. We appreciate everyone for tuning in on this Tuesday night. T-Bolts back in action same time tomorrow, 7 p.m. They host the Gaithersburg Giants. We'll go live around 6:50 right here on the Thunderbolts Baseball Network. For my partner, Brian Alves, writer Sam Bergstrom, social media guy Nick Ronholm, and everyone involved in the making of this broadcast, that includes the listeners at home, we appreciate you, and we say from Blair, so long, have a good night.